What's up, everyone? It's the Interview Queen Alicia Toot here, and be sure to watch Tru Heel Heat.
This is the knockout artist, Chris Hero, and if you're looking for some true heel heat, you better listen to them boys.
Welcome to Tru Heel Heat, the place where we use insider terms because we think we know what the fuck we're talking about, even though we don't. My name's Maxwell Jacob Friedman, and I'm better than you, and you know it.
Yo, what up? You know what it is. It's your boy AJ Francis reporting to you live from New York City, the birthplace of hip-hop. And I'm telling you that I'm only tuned in with Tru Heel Heat Wrestling. Holla at me.
It's Saturday morning. It is May 18th. It is SP3 Day for a special birthday bash edition of the Tru Heel Heat flagship podcast. We got the whole gang, the OG trio, plus the True Draw. Plus, we got a very special guest who's got a very special book dropping this week. We got a lot to discuss. It's Tru Heel Heat 277. Let's hit the intro. Hello. It is me, your Tru Heel Phenom SP3. We are live on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter for Tru Heel Heat 277. All elite fumbles, discussing the latest wrestling news, including a pair of interviews with AEW stars Ricky Starks and Konosuke Takeshita, where both men discuss their frustrations with the company. Tiffany Stratton causing a controversy ahead of the Queen of the Ring quarterfinals. Recap of this weekend wrestling, plus our matches of the week. Plus we got a special guest. Plus it's my birthday, and the gang is here. Man. We got first up the True Draw himself, along with the beautiful Prince. It is Josh. How are you doing, Josh?
I'm doing good, SP3. Happy birthday.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
How old do you turn today? 40, 41?
All right, don't age me up, sir. I got enough. My missus said I have enough gray hairs to pull off 40 this morning, so she's been trolling me enough. I don't need the trolling now. But yes, I am 36 years young this week. 36 years young today. So very happy to celebrate my birthday, and very happy that the Roman Reigns of our flagship podcast is here with us this week to celebrate. He is the top guy. JJ, how are you doing?
What's up, man? What's crazy is that I realized it's like on Thursday. I was like, working on this fucking guy's birthday. like we should be all meeting up somewhere at a bar, talking shit, reminiscing on some times over here. We are here for you guys, Tru Heel Heat family, about to stream a 17-hour podcast and just take half his entire day away from us.
Well, I mean, you're here, so it probably will be longer.
Happy birthday, man. Happy birthday, turning 21 again. You know what I mean? 21 for like the 19th time. You know, you just got to keep living it up, bro.
I'm going to keep celebrating my 21st. And we got a very special guest this week to celebrate my birthday. And to celebrate, he's got a big accomplishment this week, dropping his very first book, kind of a whole retrospective about the in-ring work of Stone Cold Steve Austin. It is my main man, someone I've been wanting to come on here for too long, the man over at Brass Ring Media, Zach Haydorn. How are you doing?
Doing great. Thanks so much for having me. Happy birthday. It's a pleasure to join you guys. We've been trying to hook up on this for a while, and so I'm pumped to be here. We're gonna have some fun.
Absolutely. I am very happy to have you on. And I'm just going to go right to the jump. Man, I've been looking up on you and been seeing your social media, been learning about your book, Stunning, the kind of the whole retrospective about the in-ring career of Stone Cold. Try my best with the intro to explain that, but I want to give you the opportunity right off the bat. We got a bunch of people watching already. We appreciate y'all. You know, we're going to give y'all the little rundown that we usually do. But Zach, let everybody know about your book, Stunning, that is dropping.
Thank you so much, guys. The book is called Stunning, The Wrestling Artistry of Steve Austin, and it is a look at his career from an in-ring artistic perspective. We start the book in 1990 when he's in the USWA, and we look at matches, transcribe matches, and analyze matches from that era, and then from every era after that of his career. So we touch on Stunning Steve, the Hollywood Blondes, post-Hollywood Blondes, ECW Austin, the Ringmaster, Stone Cold, heel Stone Cold, and we wrap up with the match against Kevin Owens at WrestleMania 38. So it is an in-depth kind of analysis of the in-ring career of Stone Cold Steve Austin, one of the biggest stars in the history of the wrestling business. It's a wonderful project that I had such a blast putting together. I'm looking forward to you guys checking it out. It's available on Amazon right now. Just search by the title Stunning, The Wrestling Artistry of Steve Austin. You can pick it up there. There's over 100 pieces of unique, specialized art from K. Thor Jensen in that book. What started as, hey, do a couple drawings for the chapters turned into 100 plus pieces of original work. It's tremendous. I really love the kind of the added flair that the art gives, and really think you guys will like this book. If you're a wrestling fan, if you're a Steve Austin fan, and even if you're not a Steve Austin fan, I think that you can really get a lot out of this and kind of go on the journey with us to find out just how good of a pro wrestling artist Stone Cold Steve Austin and Steve Austin was. So once again, that's Stunning, The Wrestling Artistry of Steve Austin. It's available now. It's on Amazon. I hope that you check it out. I'd certainly appreciate it, and I think you'll very much enjoy it.
Wow, I'm looking forward to checking that out for sure. As someone that's a big Stone Cold fan, I know Josh and Top Guy JJ similar. I think we're gonna have some questions for you about this book a little bit later. But before then, we want to let everybody know, if you're joining us live on Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube, remember, show your appreciation back the simplest way possible. Drop the thumbs up on this video. If you're watching us on YouTube, if you're watching us on Facebook, you have the option to put a thumbs up, a heart emoji, a laugh emoji. However this week in wrestling made you feel, you could do it with those emotes. If you're watching us on Twitter, most important thing is to retweet the video and share it with your friends, your wrestling fans. Become a part of the conversation here on the chat. We got our live chat open. Everyone joining us, you could chime in. We'll try to highlight as many of your comments as possible. But of course, if you're feeling generous, you want to give back to what we do here, you could send a super chat donation. That is so important to what we do here at the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel. It goes back to the contributors, and I would appreciate some birthday gifts. So I'm not doing this 3 to 4 hour podcast for free. Thank you, people. I appreciate it. But yes, we got Fire Driver Finisher in the chat who says, Sup, y'all? Can't wait till tomorrow for X-Men 97 review. Can't wait for next season if they continue. Yes, they have been confirmed for season 2, and man, what an ending to season 1 for sure. We got Safet in the chat who says, happy birthday, SP3. Same to Power Driver Finisher. Thank you so much, guys. We also got our first super chat donation from the good brother Chilling with Chase. Thank you so much, Chase, for that huge super chat donation. He says, happy birthday, SP3. May this day be an enjoyable day. I'm sure we're going to have a bunch of laughs here, so I am sure I'm going to enjoy my day for sure. We also got Emmanuel who says, happy birthday, SP3 Taurus gang. Woo, woo. Let's go. Bulls in the house. We got Vala B who says, happy birthday, SP3. We got Chuck Berry saying the same thing. Thank you so much, guys. Big Hero Chris is in the chat saying, happy birthday, good brother. And we got the Negro Buck, Nick Jackson, with another super chat donation. Thank you so much, Nick. He says, happy birthday to the one and only SP3, one of the hardest working men we all know and love. Have a great one, brother. Keep up all the great work. I really appreciate all your kind words, Nick. You have been one of our top supporters here, so always appreciate the love. And you're a friend here on the channel for sure. You're a brother, sir.
I was about to say, Nick is not a supporter, bro. He is a part of the Tru Heel Heat family, bro. He's been with us since day one.
Hey, he's the first ever retired jersey that we've had here on the Tru Heel Heat flagship
podcast.
With us
since holding the fucking iPad, and baby Seth couldn't stay still for fucking 30 seconds and shit. The Negro Buck has been with us since then, filming at SP's job.
I love it. And we also got G Loke in the chat who says happy C Day at SP3 and from Highbridge. I will be doing a C walk to Not Like Us by Kendrick Lamar later on today, just for you, G. And I got one more super chat donation before we get into things for the podcast. Negro Buck with another one who says X-Men 97 was amazing. Anyone else want Spider-Man 98 as much as I do? After we saw Peter in the finale of X-Men 97, they gotta give us that now. Like, they literally gave us what happened after Spider-Man went off, because Spider-Man the animated series ended with MJ in the multiverse, and now she's standing next to Peter after everything goes down in this X-Men 97. It's crazy. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for all the animated series. Have you been keeping up to date with all the X-Men stuff, Zach?
Absolutely. My goodness. It's been, I had expectations for that show to be really good, just because I think deep down I just wanted it to be, since I've got such nostalgia for it. But it blew away expectations. Like, it was a legit, it's just a fun watch, well written, well everything, and I'm pumped. I didn't know that they greenlit the season 2 SP3, so I'm glad that you dropped a little 411 today on that. That's awesome.
Yes, I literally have been telling a bunch of people season 2's been confirmed. I also a lot of people didn't know that the creator got fired after he handed in the scripts for season 2, Bo DeMayo, and we still don't know what the hell did Bo do or what he put in the script that got him fired. So hopefully we figure it out by season 2.
Wow, I didn't know that either.
Yo, no cat. I was about 10 minutes away. I was going between fits for the day, and I'm glad I switched, because me and Josh would have been wearing the exact same shirt today.
Well, look at us. Look at me and Josh. I got the X-Men shirt. Josh got Spider-Man. Look at that.
Man, you know what's great about that show, dude, is that, I kid you not, when the show started, and we're not going to do a long-ass thing about it, but when the show started, the first 3 minutes of it, I was like, oh shit, I need to watch the end of season 5 from back in the day, because they gave me a nugget in the first 3 minutes. I was like, oh shit, I forgot what the fuck happened here. So I have to watch that whole season back.
I did my homework. I found out what the premiere date was, March 20th, and I told my missus in February 1st. I was like, I'm going to take the month of February to binge watch the animated series. I was like, I'm committed to do it. And I finished it. I finished it so early, I was able to do X-Men Evolutions, which I didn't even know was a thing. X-Men Evolutions as well. So, yeah. I've been on this X-Men kick for a while. My missus always asks me, are you going to watch anything besides wrestling and X-Men? No.
Probably not.
But yes, but no, we're here to talk about some pro wrestling. We will talk all about X-Men 97 tomorrow on the second channel for sure. But we got first up what our true heel roll call, how we start off every edition of our flagship podcast, showing support to those who show support to us across social media. Our top 3 conversation starters over on the True Heels group page on Facebook. We got Neil Benedict, Joe Bellini, Stewie John Palmer, and we got our Patreon backers, Vala B, Alan Weinstein, Negro Buck, Alex McCarthy, Professor Chris, Austin K, Trey Jones, Robert, Steve, Ladarius, John, Dan, Kobe, Dolores, John Martin, DJ Eric, Marcus Ryan, James, Alan, and Santo. Thank you so much for supporting us over at patreon.com/Tru Heel Heat. You get these True Heel roll calls, you get exclusive content, so we always appreciate the support. But let's start off with what we miss, and what we missed was last night WWE SmackDown. We had the continuation of the King and Queen of the Ring tournament, as we saw in the main event, Randy Orton defeating Carmelo Hayes in a very good matchup, and a very good ending with Carmelo getting caught in midair with the RKO. But this sets up a showdown that was kind of telegraphed last week, as Tama Tonga beat LA Knight thanks to a distraction from Solo Sikoa of the Bloodline for both Orton and Tama to advance to next week's semifinals in Saudi Arabia. Meanwhile, we had in the Queen of the Ring tournament a very good opener between Bianca Belair and Tiffany Stratton, with Bianca Belair picking up the win, while on the other hand, you had Nia Jax defeated Jade Cargill via disqualification, as Jade used a steel chair that Nia was going to use against her on her for both Bianca and Nia to advance to the Queen of the Ring semifinals next week. Meanwhile, you had Cody Rhodes and Logan Paul had the contract signing for their undisputed WWE Championship matchup coming up at WWE King and Queen of the Ring. Logan bringing an adjusted contract that made the match only for Cody's title instead of title for title, like Cody teased last week in a very fun segment. I've been really enjoying the chemistry on display between Cody and Logan Paul. Like I said it 2 weeks ago last week when he was introduced as the challenger for King and Queen of the Ring. I was like, he should have been Cody's first challenger. No matter how great that AJ Styles match was at Backlash, the build was ice cold. This build feels much better already. Zach, what did you think? What do you think about the chemistry between Logan Paul and Cody and the whole show last night with SmackDown?
I mean, the chemistry between Cody and Logan Paul is really strong. I mean, they just have kind of like an innate connection that makes them like play off each other really, really well. And I think it's manifested itself and been really fun to watch. I thought the segment last night was good. I thought both Paul and Rhodes were good once again. The little trickery with Paul and the what the contract says. I mean, you could probably say that, hey, Cody, you might want to read your title match contracts so that you know what's in them. But that's a nitpick, honestly. Like, really, the main story is these two guys are going to wrestle at a big show, and I think they've got a lot of ways that they could book it. I think the two have built up like enough of a story where people are going to care about the outcome, and that's exactly what you want, especially on these Saudi Arabia shows that just kind of just are weird to begin with. So I give it a thumbs up. And as far as the show goes holistically yesterday, I thought it was a pretty good showing for WWE. I thought they threw a couple curveballs out there with some of the King of the Ring finishes, particularly the Nia Jax and Jade Cargill match. But I thought, Randy and Carmelo Hayes was a good match. I thought Bianca and Tiffany was excellent to start the show. And then LA Knight versus Tama Tonga was what it was. And so I think that they really took advantage of like the tournament being a central focus of the company right now. And have two really solid semifinals in each of the men's and women's tournaments here. So thumbs up for me. I thought it was a good night at the office overall.
I totally agree with you. Sorry about that. Yeah, I muted myself because my kids were in the background here. But yes, I totally agree with you. The focus on the King and the Queen of the Ring tournaments has been really good. I've been really enjoying that so far. But to talk more about the Queen of the Ring, we need our queen to be here, or the princess of all the true heels. Miss Krssi Luv, how are you doing being fashionably late on my birthday? How you come fashionably late to somebody else's birthday party?
Because I got kids and they got things that they are, they do, and things happen. Sorry. Happy birthday, SP. What's going on? You crazy Taurus people. It's still Taurus season. Hey friends. Hello. Good evening.
Taurus
Good
season,
afternoon.
Man, Taurus season is the
Hello.
busiest in the wrestling world. It's man. How many May birthdays we got in wrestling? Wrestling media, wrestlers.
I guess.
Just saying.
Whatever.
It's a very popular month. Roman, Bryan Danielson, Seth Rollins, all in the same. Kevin Owens, Will Ospreay, Owen Hart. Like,
wow.
Just saying. The Rock.
I mean, don't let me get to the Aries now. Don't. Let's not do this,
dude.
friend, okay?
How is the Aries list going to compete with that? I said the
Whatever.
Rock,
You
Roman,
just said
Bryan, and Ospreay.
Whatever. Hi guys, how you doing? Hi Prince. Good evening. How are you, friend? What's going on? JJ's here. What's going on, guys? How y'all doing? Hi Zach.
Hello.
How you guys doing today?
Doing well. It's good to see you.
Nice to see you all today. SP always got to start something. Even I'm just gonna let it fly because it's his birthday. But yeah.
What did you think about last night?
You know how we do.
Krssi, what did you think about last night's SmackDown and the Queen of the Ring tournament?
I was actually shocked that they didn't let Tiffany win, to be honest. But pretty good, solid match and opener for them to do the show for sure. I think they work well together. But I think the queens. So we're gonna have Nia and Bianca. Okay, great.
Yep.
That means Nia is probably gonna go on forward. We like it. We like it here. I'm here for it. But I think so overall for the SmackDown side, I think it's actually pretty good.
Yeah, it's been pretty much better than I thought it would when I first saw
it. Yeah, because we talked about it last week and we was just like, okay, whatever. But as it's been going on, like Monday they did very well, and then last night they did good again. So shockingly, they're actually putting more effort into this thing because they haven't done that in a long time. So let's see where this leads. I mean, will it mean anything once that person wins? Probably not. But hey. It's just to put a belt on there. I mean, exactly. We'll see what it says. See what they do. So,
any extra thoughts on SmackDown last night, whether it be the King or Queen of the Ring or Logan Paul and Cody Rhodes? JJ.
I just want to kind of see how it goes. Honestly, it felt very, B tier. Very it just doesn't feel like there's nothing to write home about. Honestly, watching it, yeah, I'm tired. I just need to get through the phase of Carmelo Hayes giving everybody good matches and losing. I want to see him get to a place where he's actually important on the show, instead of catapulting everybody else. I know obviously this is Thomas' time. They're gonna try to revitalize his bloodline and keep them relevant until the big dog, the our tribal chief returns. But SmackDown was very, very 2022-ish to me. It just felt very
wow. Damn, bro.
It just didn't feel like it just felt like a show. Felt like a decent show.
I think I liked it because the wrestling was good, and mostly because Triple H finally realized that, LA Knight is a star. So let me actually build some stories for him. This is the first time since November that we got actual story development for LA Knight. Yep. He actually did 2 backstage segments with Carmelo Hayes. He had the little tease with Logan Paul. I was like, thank you.
They dropped the ball. They've been dropped the ball on him. So now Paul wants to do something. Great job. Yeah. Okay. Let's see how long this lasts.
I think that they gotta if they can green light Logan Paul versus LA Knight at SummerSlam or something to that effect. I think that's the end game for what you do with that title at some point. I mean, this guy's getting some of the biggest pops in your company, period. Babyface. I mean, Cody Rhodes maybe a little bit bigger. CM Punk maybe a little bit bigger. Jey Uso. But I mean, he's certainly a top 5 guy. So come on, give him something. Jeez.
Yeah, I was just that's what I think. That's why I had like more of a positive look out on SmackDown, because I was like, finally, like y'all actually treating him like a star again. Thank you, I appreciate that. Josh, any final thoughts on last night's show?
Not really.
Fair.
I love it.
Well, I wanted to get Zach some questions. So anyone in the chat, if you got any questions for Zach in regards to his book that is out, Stunning, you can get it on Amazon.com, talking about the in-ring work of Stone Cold Steve Austin. We also got a super chat donation here from Belle. Thank you so much, Belle. Always love seeing you in the chat. She says, happy birthday. Thanks for all the banter, and I wish your next year to be the best. The same to you, Belle. Always one of the sweetest people in the chat. When you're not angry, you can get angry. I appreciate that too. But Zach, my question for you, because I know what you said earlier about this book is broken down in the different eras of Stone Cold Steve Austin. So Stunning Steve, Stone Cold Steve Austin, World Championship runs, WWE, WCW. What would you say as far as reading it back on your book? What is your favorite era from a fan perspective? But what is also your favorite era that you wrote in the book?
So my favorite era from it is different. It really is different. The favorite era from the fan perspective is, of course, like the Stone Cold era, 1998, 1999. Like that is like its own chapter of the book, of course. And it's just such a hot era. Like you can't, like when you watch it back, it's unfathomable, really, like to see the crowds reacting the way that they do. Because even like now, when you got a guy like Cody Rhodes, who's over with everybody, top babyface, strong babyface, face of the company, it's nowhere near the reaction that Austin was getting. It's like, that's how leveled up he was. And, I like to watch, wrestling where you've got the audience like aligned in what the performers want them to do, like cheer Austin, boo Vince, boo The Rock, boo Triple H, like, and he had them in the palm of their hands, like at that time, the audience right there. And I really, enjoyed that. As far as what was the funnest to write about, that was the chapter on the Hollywood Blondes. I really enjoyed, like, one of the eras that we cover is his work as the Hollywood Blondes with Brian Pillman. And obviously I had seen like a lot of Hollywood Blonde matches, but really diving into the work that they did on the microphone, the work that they did as characters, the matches that they had. I mean, you see like really quick, like Austin was a really good tag team wrestler. He understood like the psychology of tag team wrestling, and we were able to kind of showcase that in the book. And it was fun to go back and not watch one or two, Hollywood Blondes matches, but watch 50 of them and really see how they kind of track and how they develop and how they grow. And Austin, like in that tag team, I know that like people say all the time, like ECW is what really brought Austin out of his shell for the first time, and that's true. It's not that that's incorrect, but step one in that process is his work in the Hollywood Blondes. Like Brian Pillman opened him up and really, helped him develop that personality. And so it's a pivotal time in his career. So that was an absolute blast to write about.
Yeah. And wasn't the Hollywood Blondes run like less than a year?
Sure.
Like,
yeah.
Weren't they together like 8-9 months, but like 30 years later, we're still talking about them. Like that might be the greatest less than 1 year tag team ever.
It's wild. Yeah. I mean, it's a short chapter in the book because it just didn't last for very long, but it was pretty influential. And when you watch it kind of unfold, it's like WCW didn't know what to do with Hollywood Blondes and like didn't care. They just didn't care to like make them anything. But when Steve he's in many interviews, he said like, hey, we had something there, and it could have been so much more. And when you watch it all back and listen to how that crowd's reacting to them and to the baby faces that they're working with, like it had a lot more legs to it than what WCW got out of it. No question.
100%. So I wanted to ask one more question before anyone else in the panel, Josh, JJ, Krssi, if you want to ask any questions about the book. I wanted to ask you, what was the biggest difference between, you've done written work for different websites, wrestling website. How much of kind of a workload was it to write an entire book in comparison to an article or a couple of articles in a day?
Oh man, it was night and day from like a like a writing standpoint, but also from like a psychological standpoint, because when you're writing a column, right, or some kind of feature or some kind of like quick hit story, you write it, you put it out, you get feedback, good or bad, it's pretty quick. This it was like you're sitting in front of your computer and you're just writing and you're writing and you're writing, and there's no feedback. Like, it's just, you think you're writing something good and you think like it's going to be good when it all comes together, and you think that you've got a good project in mind and it's all good, but like, like it's a little more, you're putting yourself out there a little bit more because it's longer, and also you just don't have that immediate feedback. So psychologically, that was a pivot. And then let's just like writing it is just more in depth because there is just so much to cover. And so a lot of it was, like when you're writing like a column or a feature, some kind of like quick hit story, like you mentioned, like you could sit down and bang it out, and kind of get where you need it to go and be done, in a hour, 2, 3, depending on how in depth you want to put it. But with this, it was like, you had to track out a strategy for 9 months to get everything done and written, and really work hard to stay, on schedule. And I was like obsessed with that, to like almost to the point of like unhealthy. Like, I just was like, I don't want to fall behind. I don't want to fall behind. I don't want to fall behind.
Obsessed with being on time, you mean? Like making sure you're like strict and like making sure that you had you met your deadline.
Yeah. I really did not want to like get to a point where I was like chasing my tail with it. And I had a great editor working with me on that, and like helping out, and Hybrid Shoot, who published the book, was great with that. So that's like just the biggest difference. Just like the volume of writing, is different. But the mental part was also, it's like that you're sitting, you're writing. Like, I mean, I wrote the first word of this book in April of 2021. That's how long ago it was. And there's points where I'm like, I mean, to be honest, like, and I've read it. I mean, I've got probably 100 odd times, and it's like it gets to a point where like you just, I don't know what this book, like, I just don't know anymore. And finally, it coming out and like being able to hold it and read it like in book form before it went out to everybody, like, was a really nice moment to remind you, like, all right, I think mission accomplished here. I think we did it, and now I'm excited for everybody to read it and pick it up and then provide that feedback. I mean, that's the exciting part of all this.
And that's crazy. You said April of 2021, so you didn't even know he was going to come back for one more match. But when you start writing the book,
no, I didn't.
That's awesome.
I had turned the book in about 2 months before that, before he came back, and
that's when the rumors started.
Yes. When I was sitting there like, man, I want to be a completist with this. So I actually, after WrestleMania 38, I wrote an addendum to which is what is the last chapter right now. I actually had to write that and add that in after the fact, because I was like, well, man, I just spent 10 months writing this. I might as well like spend another couple of weeks getting this chapter the way, make it complete. But yeah, that was a curveball, Steve. Thanks a lot.
And then there was rumors last year he was going to do it again.
I know. I was sitting.
So it's understandable that it's coming out now. You had to make sure.
Yeah, I was sitting in the audience at WrestleMania 40, going, "Please don't come out. Don't come out. Somebody else come out."
He was the only person who was happy to see Taker instead of Austin.
I know. Oh my God.
Like, thank God the shit is still intact.
Yes, right.
Josh, Krssi, JJ, any further questions for Zach in regards to the
No, he actually answered my question when he was speaking from the last answer. Because I was asking like, where did you begin? Like, where did you know? And you said you began in like 2021. So
yeah.
But how did you have like your outline of like how you wanted to start, of like where you wanted to start your book?
So I started. That's an awesome question. I started by like figuring out what the kind of different eras were, and it's weird with Steve Austin. It's like, obviously everybody thinks of Stone Cold, but the rest of his career like breaks up into like different eras pretty easily. Honestly.
Easy, right? Yes.
Like it's Rookie, it's Stunning Steve, it's the Blondes, it's ECW, Ringmaster Stone Cold, Heel Stone Cold, and then like his final run. So once I had that, I actually wrote the Stone Cold chapters first.
Okay.
Because I knew those best.
How about that actually? Because that's what you knew from more relevant than other stuff. Because it's all old stuff.
Yep. And I wanted to like get like the style and kind of like the voice of it all like down. And I thought it would be easiest to get that down with a batch of his career that I knew really well already. And so I started there, and then after that, I just worked through it. Just start to finish. Once I had kind of like that voice and the tone down of the writing and how I wanted to present the matches and the history and all the research. So that's how it was organized. But it was important to like, I think one of the best decisions I made in writing it was writing that Stone Cold chapter first. Because it also was like, it got me just jazzed up to like watch everything, too, because you watch that 98, 99 run and it's like, oh, this is going to be fun,
Right.
So like, it helped just kind of like build the momentum I needed to kind of get everything else going. So that was the strategy. And like I said, it was all, I stayed on deadline. That was like a key. I swore to myself that I would do that, and I did. Thankfully.
I wanted to ask a quick one, and it's in reference to me and Krssi, because we do our Dark Side of the Ring reviews, and Krssi wasn't aware of the Chris Adams feud until that episode of Dark Side of the Ring. What was kind of your knowledge of that whole Chris Adams story, him being the trainer, then Austin getting with his ex, and then they making that basically the Matt Hardy Edge Lita before Matt Hardy Edge
It was. Yep, it was.
It would have been a scandal if that happened, 20 years after that. So that is when you look at like Steve Austin's history, that's a very important feud for him. In his whole it jump-started his run. I mean, he had like this feud with Chris Adams when he's, less than a year into the business, and he's working with the guy, like one of the top guys in that territory. So supremely important. We actually I write about 3 of his matches with Chris Adams in the book. They had a barbed wire match that I talk about. They had a tag team match with Chris's other wife, and then Jeannie and Steve. So that they're in that. And then there's another singles match that we talked through. So they had a lot of matches in 1990, a lot. And I think that feud is pretty good. I mean, Chris Adams, given the rookie Steve Austin, with all that he did in terms of like wins and just offense and just being like this chicken shit heel, he gave him a lot. And Chris Adams doesn't have the best reputation in the world, and did not, and didn't have like, just, had a lot of bad things that he did and like that happened to him and along the way. But when you take all that, when you kind of like gloss over that and look at this, I mean, he did some really good business for Steve Austin. And so, that was fun. It was a fun, I had only seen like 1 or 2 of those matches, and in preparing for the book, there's probably like 8 of them that I watched with them. And it was great. They were great. Chris Adams was great. He was a really good wrestler.
Definitely ahead of his time. But I know, Zach, it's the weekend. You got a family to get to, but I appreciate you so much finally coming on the flagship here, talking about your book, Stunning, and I'm looking forward to checking it out. So all of you in the chat and watching should be able to go ahead and go over to Amazon.com, check it out as well. Once again, Zach, let everybody know where they can find it and where they can find you on social media.
Thank you guys so much for having me on. It's really been a pleasure, and I've been wanting to be on the show for so long, and I'm so glad that I got to do it today. I hope you pick up the book, you guys. It's called Stunning, The Wrestling Artistry of Steve Austin. It's on Amazon right now. You can get it as a paperback. You can get it as an ebook or a Kindle edition. It's there. It's got original art all throughout the book. K. Thor Jensen does the artwork. Over 100 pieces of original art for the book. It's wonderful. I hope you check it out. Would love to hear your thoughts, and you can hit me up on Twitter, Zach_Haydorn, right there to give me those thoughts. I'd love the feedback. Love to hear what you think, and I'm excited for everybody to read it. If you want more of my day-to-day coverage of professional wrestling, you can head over and check out our work at Brass Ring Media. We have a YouTube channel you can subscribe to for free. We're live there 4 days a week, talking current pro wrestling and with different hosts and different shows and different perspectives and opinions. Again, it's Brass Ring Media on YouTube. And you can also subscribe for free to our Brass Ring Media Substack, where you get our written columns and written show reviews. That's all there. Once again, that is free as well. If you're interested, you can become a Brass Ring Media member. Just head to patreon.com/Brass Ring Media. For Brass Ring Media members, I will be doing a watch-along companion podcast with the book. So we'll be talking live about matches that I cover in the book from start to finish, and we'd love to have you. So if you want to give us a shot, we'll do all we can to earn your business and make sure you get your money's worth. So once again, that's patreon.com/Brass Ring Media. If you forgot all of that, follow me on Twitter, X, Zach_Haydorn. I keep everything kind of there and up to date as to what we got going on with the book and Brass Ring. You can follow it all there. So Zach_Haydorn. I'm going to go ahead to a 3-year-old soccer game. Thank you so much for everybody. Thank you all.
Zach. We appreciate you, good brother. So take care, enjoy your weekend, and check out Stunning when you can. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you.
Zach.
Thanks, man.
See you later.
Bye, guys.
Enjoy that
Appreciate
game,
you,
brother.
Later.
I will. I'll try.
Yeah, they're gonna be all over the place, but where they need to be.
Yep.
It's gonna be like a bunch of bees chasing a ball.
Yep.
around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Thank you, guys. See
Later,
you.
dude.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, we got in the chat with us another super chat donation from Big Hero Chris. Big Hero Chris says, "Why was Tama sounding like the kid from Wild Thornberries?" Yeah,
The little brother.
he sounded like a hyena. He sounded like one of the Lion King hyenas. The way he was
Tasmanian
snarling and growling, he was like, "Yeah, yeah, 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 yeah." I was like, "What is wrong with him? Did he get his rabies shots? Like, what the fuck?" And we got a huge super chat donation from Chuck Berries. Thank you so much, Chuck Berries. We appreciate the support. He says, "I was cool with the result of the Jade versus Nia match. I just think that it would have been too soon to have Jade versus Bianca Belair. I 100% was with that. And I just put it out there on social media last night. I was like, this is now twice.
Yeah.
This is now twice we've had African-American WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, and they immediately win the title and then go for singles accomplishments.
Stupid.
This is now twice.
They shouldn't have been in the tournament in the first place, but whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, you did have extra women on the SmackDown roster to put in instead of Bianca and Jade.
They just drafted like fucking 9 women to the main roster. We didn't need Nia
and Jade right away. I mean, it was good, but we didn't need it like right now. You could have like left a little bit of like. We could have did that at SummerSlam. You know what I'm saying? Like you didn't need that right now. But whatever.
That's why I didn't care about SmackDown too much. It just felt very just put together. Like
it definitely was put
feel
together.
Like a well-structured show, like how we were kind of used to over these last like few months prior to Mania. It just feels like after Mania, everything is like freestyled right now.
Oh yeah, for sure.
They're trying to find what's gonna stick right now.
Yeah.
But I agree with Chuck Berry's. It was too soon to do Jade versus Bianca, but I also think it was too soon for Jade Cargill to look like an idiot in a DQ loss. So that's why I said you shouldn't have put her in the tournament.
They should, you know what? They could have just done a fucking no contest and just have them both eliminated. Like they could have just done something to not make either one look bad.
Yeah,
but that's too easy for them though. That's the sad part. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, but they make dumb decisions all the time, and now we're kind of
Exactly.
like getting reignited with those. So you know, this is a week full of dumb decisions, especially the dumb LA Knight one. Like it is what it is. Yeah,
fucking WWE guys. Like, what do we expect? You know?
Hey, all I know is that there's one decision that I think I can influence here. Tama Tonga, please come up with a new finisher. Because a jumping flatliner is not a finisher. It is what R-Truth has been using for a decade.
Bro, that's a setup to a finisher. That's not an actual match ender.
Like that shit got the reaction of a fart in church when that
no
finish
one even knew that was even a move. Everybody just thought that was just like another in-match move.
Yep.
Yeah. It was pretty bad, pretty rough.
It is what
At least
it is.
his entrance does look kind of cool. His entrance.
Yeah, but the music sucks.
The entrance. That's what I said. The entrance.
The aesthetics. Yeah, the aesthetics. The aesthetics.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
I peep game.
Shit on mute. If you got the shit on mute, it's like he looks fire. But you turn that sound on, it's like, yeah, go back. Yeah, gotta go back to the studio. Yeah, gotta go back to the studio.
So, Krssi Luv. Yeah. Oh no, go ahead, Josh.
No, I was gonna say, and there's people who actually believe that WWE has made Tama a bigger star than Okada.
What?
AEW. Yeah. Yep.
I know you. Josh, I know you. Like, don't get me to cussing already. I ain't even been here that long yet. I haven't been here an hour, and you want me to cuss? Like, we're not doing this today, okay? It's Etsy's
I don't believe
birthday.
that's what I saw it. I saw it. You know what's funny? You know what's funny? I saw the post when I saw it. I laughed at it, and the person got upset about why I laughed at it. I said to them because it's fucking stupid.
So they said Tama Tonga is big. That he's better than.
No, that WWE has made him a bigger star in WWE than Okada has been in AEW.
Well, you got someone in the chat. William agrees. So I guess it's a matter of preference. I think WWE has done a great job with Tama Tonga presentation wise. I will not deny that.
Which is cool. They're trying to make him matter, which is a good thing. So obviously, I hate it when it's at the expense of all of these up and comers that literally that has been hot for like half a year, and then all of a sudden they got to take a back seat to these next like few PLEs, and now you got to work on building these guys back up. Like honestly, I truthfully, Randy Orton didn't need this.
Nope.
But
I think that the final is going to be Orton and Gunther. And yes, you do need Randy Orton to be the guy that Gunther beats.
If it's Gunther that is going to be the foregone winner of this thing, yeah, make him be the premier star. That's fine.
Now, if it winds up being Jey versus Tama, I'm with you. I'm jumping on your bandwagon, and I'm like, no, fuck all this shit. This was not a good idea.
I'm telling you, something's telling me Tama is going to be in the finals, bro. Like, that's what.
Man.
Something's telling me Tama is going to be there. Like, it's just dumb. Like this is just again freestyle. Like I just don't feel like this is like
something is telling me. Yeah, I do agree with that.
Placement just is weird.
I just think that the whole goal of this King of the Ring tournament should be about re-establishing it as a prestigious honor, a prestigious prize in WWE. The way to do that is to have top stars fighting over it in the end, and Gunther and Randy Orton accomplish that goal. If you do Jey versus Tama in the final, all this King of the Ring tournament was a fucking tool to the next chapter of the bloodline. That's all it was.
And it'll be a wet fart, so I don't want to see that.
Yeah, the match wouldn't be good. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'll be the one to say it. Jey
I said
Uso's
it too.
matches, Jey Uso's matches is like watching Uso's matches in negative 1.5 speed. I've said it on multiple occasions. I'm gonna keep saying it. His matches are not that good because he's slow. He's very slow. He doesn't know how to move fast because he's been a tag team specialist all his career.
He ain't lying, y'all. He ain't lying.
I'm just saying, like,
looks good though. He looks good.
Yeah, the entrance is over. The yeet is over. He's even over. Like it stopped. It's not. Then the bell rings and the people aren't into the matches. They actually are into the matches because he is over. But he is over for the great and compelling character that he was last year, and now he is basically the yeet clown.
Yeah, because once that, and it's sad because once the bell rings, like he needs to add a couple of moves to his set, because like at least 2 to 3, because it's literally it's the same setup. It's the same setup over and over. He has his punches, his yeet punches, his super kicks, his suicide dive, and then the spear and frog splash. That's literally his entire moveset. That's his entire moveset. He doesn't even have a fucking suplex in his moveset. Like, that's fucking pathetic.
He legit has like the 5. He does the 5 moves of doom. That's what he's got. And like he'll throw in like a super kick early on in the matchup, but he needs to kind of expand upon his moveset a little bit. I'm just saying.
Yeah, me and Sid been saying that for a while too. We're just like, no, we're talking about Jey.
Oh, Jey Uso. Oh,
yeah. It's
me and Sid been saying that for a while.
JJ just named all of Jey Uso's moves. It's Samoan drop, super kick, spear, splash. That's it.
He's basically doing the moves that he did when he was in the tag team.
He's doing, but
Samoan drop often enough.
He's been doing those. He's doing everything he did in a tag team just by himself. I don't know why everyone
slower.
And good Lord,
I mean, I've been told you guys
I agree with William. He has the worst spear since Edge.
Yes.
He has the worst spear this side of Edge.
Yes. His spear is dog water. My God.
Not dog water.
His spear is, oh my God, I hate seeing it execute. It's like if you're not
at least Prince is sleeping because he would have been offended to that.
Don't do the move at all. Just don't do the move at all.
It's like, damn, bro.
Why part of his arsenal. Like, it was cool when you kind of saw him mimic Roman when they were having their matches back and forth, but he actually makes it a part of his repertoire now.
Yeah. It was different when he did it on Roman, but like making it a part of his repertoire now, like that's the setup for the splash.
It's been mid for a long time though, guys. I've been saying this. No one wanted to believe me. Everyone thought I was just being a hater.
Actually, no. We were all
no, Krssi. No. I did push back against it because I was like, I want to see the positives in Jey, but Krssi was the trendsetter here as far as being against. She was like, the yeet thing was annoying. She was the first
to me, but to me, I was always like that with Jey. Like even when they made him, like when they started pushing him as a singles guy, it was just like with me, it was more like how they're really gonna do this because he's not that strong in the ring. Like he's done great stuff with Roman, but then that's a different kind of animal that you're working with. So when you're by yourself, you kind of you do see the flaws, and I think more so now because they put him on that pedestal, and he's obviously over with the crowd. Now you really see it even more because he's more, they put a microscope more on him now. So you kind of see like, oh, he's been doing the same stuff this whole time. And we haven't really seen that we haven't seen that 3rd, 4th, 5th gear from Jey. So I think to me at this point, that's probably what you're just going to get at this point from him.
Could be.
And they're happy with it. They're happy.
I think Krssi earlier said something interesting, and we got Jordan in the chat who's kind of repeating the same thing, saying that Tiffany should have won last night. Apparently, you guys didn't hear about the news this week. So, in a new reports, shooting down a rumor that was circulating
I ain't hear
this
about
week.
this shit either.
Tiffany Stratton's match on WWE SmackDown. There was a rumor that Tiffany Stratton's match on SmackDown last night was going to be pulled from the show. Apparently, a rumor was floating around social media because of a video that Tiffany Stratton posted to her Instagram, which saw her from her matchup, the 8-woman tag in Lyon, France, a couple of weeks ago on SmackDown, where she punches Jade Cargill off the apron. She added in a voiceover voice from a viral video of a black woman saying "black bitch" as she struck Cargill. It wasn't Tiffany that said it, but it was a voiceover with Tiffany hitting Jade that she posted on social media that caused a lot of controversy, people calling her out, saying that it was immature or was a not very well thought out post, and how it was supposed to lead to her match with Bianca Belair on last night's show being pulled. PW Insider reported before the show that the match had not been pulled and would not be pulled. Several sources indicated that Stratton is not in trouble for anything internally, and that she has been unanimously praised by management and other talents since she moved to the roster. Her status within the company has been unchanged, and she is still on good footing, but I think maybe the controversy could have been a reason why WWE went with the more reliable and bigger star in Bianca Belair here, because I did think when this Queen of the Ring tournament was announced, Tiffany Stratton's character is like ready made for this, but it seems like a little bit of controversy may have changed WWE's mind, may have not. I don't know. Krssi Luv, finding out this news, are you not now surprised that she lost last night?
Now, okay, it makes sense now. You know, we have to there's consequences to bullshit, and you know, you can't get praised and get away with things that they definitely, you know, not good for the brand. So we have to go with the more popular person. Okay, fine. Hopefully her ass will, you know better next time.
I feel you. Top guy JJ, learning about this, what's your thoughts?
Why are people this dumb in 2020? I don't like with everything that comes out, the level of sensitivity that everyone has.
Yep.
Like, you are in the limelight. You're in the spotlight. You are a prime star now. There is a lot of eyeballs on you. You're getting comparisons all over the place. So everybody's watching you.
Everybody's watching you. They're going to put a microscope to everything you say.
Like, why did you have to put the black bitch in there? Like, why? Like it's just... Why you just couldn't... Like, there's so many clips of anything that just says bitch. Anything. And that's what you choose? Or that's what your stupid PR manager chooses?
Whoever controls your social media?
Whoever controls the social media definitely needs,
you can't make this shit up and be this stupid.
Yeah.
And
genuinely this dumb.
People have to realize within her camp and within WWE that stuff like this makes you find out about other stuff. Like Senior Nerd said, I didn't know this until this.
Yeah, I didn't know
that Tiffany Stratton is a known Trump supporter. I was like, I just found that out from this whole controversy. I was like, damn. I was like, damn. You see, you opened up Pandora's box, and now I'm finding out shit that I don't like about you.
Yeah. See, this is what we don't. That's why they gave it to the black girl.
Josh.
And if you support Trump, whatever, okay, fine. There's a lot of people that support him. Most of the company are like known Republicans, so let's just not like do that. But like now, when you post stupid stuff, like JJ said, like you have to have more sense nowadays. Like, you can't be that damn stupid to be posting dumb shit like this.
Oh, please believe Daniel Garcia 2.0. Chris Jericho being a Trump supporter started the whole change of people hating him too. So like, don't worry. But he's a well-known one because he's actually donated to the Trump campaign. He got found out a few years ago. Tiffany Stratton could have kept this on the low, but like Twan Mac says here in the chat, it's also, if you've seen, I've seen people on Twitter post some of her likes from IG, and she's MAGA from Minnesota. No surprise.
Definitely from Minnesota. That's one of his states for sure.
It like, you know, that ain't the worst thing, but it's literally like you have an open wound and you just put salt on it.
Right.
Like if it was like that was the only story, it's like, okay, whatever. You know, it's, you know, she's making figures and she wants to support the rich people, whatever.
Yeah.
But that's now compounded with the dumb shit. So it makes it just a little worse.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Absolutely. Oh man. But
it's Trumpy time.
Imagine she comes out and Michael Cole's like, damn, it looks like it's trumpet time.
Well, that's the best thing he's written.
Oh well, we'll I guess we'll talk more about this controversy if it comes back up or sparks back up in any way in the future. But
idiot.
Tiffany, just learn from this. Hopefully you learn. WWE Twitch account got hacked this week as part of another edition of these Uncle Howdy or Wyatt 6 teasers. It was a video revealing more clues to the recent QR codes. As FIFO notes, the company's official Twitch account was taken over at 4 p.m. Eastern time on Thursday and showed a video
Dakota?
of the... No, it's the Fiend's former therapist who was listed as missing in a photo from the QR code that was shown on Monday night's Raw. FIFO notes that the video had several QR codes appearing that showed previous videos, and that the unnamed client of the therapist talks about showing someone their lies and seeing a beautiful vision opening the door for family. When the therapist tries to delve deeper into that, the client said the therapist didn't want to see it and said, I finally know my purpose and soon everyone will see. The client asks if the therapist wants to meet them, and when asked who they mean, the video cuts to the missing person article on the therapist. A new QR code was then shown on this week's WWE SmackDown that led to another mysterious and creepy video. Friday night show saw the latest QR code pop up during the DIY versus Legado del Fantasma matchup, and the video featuring a picture of a child in face paint with a voiceover that said, he is nobody, he is all of us. And it looked like it was very much Taylor Rotunda, a younger version of Taylor Rotunda, aka Bo Dallas, aka Uncle Howdy. The video concluded with a silhouette of a figure with the voiceover saying, do you want to meet him? On both Raw and SmackDown this week, the commentary teams actually acknowledged the QR codes that have been popping up. And Corey Graves during last night's SmackDown said, I remember the last time QR codes showed up, and then cut himself off at that point. So it seems like we're getting closer and closer to the big reveal. What have you guys thought about all the teasers for the Wyatt 6 Uncle Howdy return? Krssi?
It just boils down to execution at this point. Like, we've all seen how they have done the Fiend in the past. It got worse as he was burnt and he had to wear all that foolishness. So let's just see the execution of how everything is done. The last time we seen the whole family was that when it was with LA Knight and the Fiend, correct? No.
No, there wasn't. They never put the Wyatt 6 faction together. So
wasn't they in weren't they at the match or something like that?
Oh yeah. They were dressed up in the Huskus pig and all that.
All of them they showed each other. Like, I don't remember the event that it was, but we've seen.
I think that was the first Rules. The reveal at Extreme Rules, and then again.
Right.
And then I think again at Royal Rumble, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, so again,
the Mountain Dew match.
The Mountain Dew. Okay, thank you. The Lights Out match.
Still one of the dumbest matches.
I thought it wasn't. I enjoyed it, but whatever. Everyone.
I know you've been trying to convince us for over a year now that it wasn't that bad.
Things and we all listen. We all on this podcast absolutely loves that man. But no one can take that away from us. That opinion. That was the worst thing. One of the worst things I've ever seen, besides a cockroach fucking fiasco at WrestleMania 33.
Okay, it's just balls down to execution and how they had the presentation, How is this going to be presented to us? How is he going to wrestle? What is he going to do? That's what it boils down to. I'm here for it. I want to see it. It's just execution. You have to execute it the right way. You can give us you can give us as many fucking barcodes as you want to, but if it's not executed properly, it's going to be dog soup, whatever he said before. Dog water. There you go.
Water. Josh, who do you think this Wyatt or Uncle Howdy is going to feud with initially, or should?
To be honest, I don't even know, because I think it's more of for them is more of just bringing them out, right? Like that's what they're looking for. Because even when Bray came back, nobody really knew, and then ended up being LA Knight. That ended up being his main feud. So at this point, I have no idea. Like, I don't know who needs to push. I don't know what they're gonna go. That's actually a good question, because I wouldn't know myself.
I mean, I said before last night's SmackDown, I said it on the SmackDown review on Sportskeeda, it should have been LA Knight. LA Knight is the one that makes the most sense. That was the only person that
I agree.
He has
I
interacted
agree.
with. So that would have made sense. If you also want to do someone else he's interacted with that he's gonna come back for, Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits. Because that was supposed to be the Bray Wyatt match at WrestleMania 39 before he got sick.
That is true. You're right. I forgot all about that, to be honest. Like, those make that does make the most sense. Those people, because they all interacted with that family some kind of way.
Yeah. But I think Lashley is injured right now.
Yeah, he got injured in the gym or some foolishness like that or whatever.
Yeah, he got injured training for the King of the Ring tournament. So
yeah,
he wasn't gonna win anyway.
And then Uncle Howdy elbow dropped the shit out of LA Knight to hell or some shit at the Royal Rumble. He jumped off that thing, and then, the one that he missed, and then they just disappeared.
They disappeared on the that again. That's the last time they all was together at I think it was the Rumble.
Yeah. Yep. So we shall see who this
maybe be at SummerSlam, because once he.
Yeah, I think it's coming. It's coming probably like King of the Ring, or it's coming soon. Like you can't drag this out. They actually started once they start actually acknowledging it, that means that it's coming.
Okay.
Yeah. I think the one thing I do worry about is all the spooky shit, because remember when Bray came back and when he was doing the Firefly, that was one of the things that started to turn people off, was just like all like the weird shit. So that's one thing I do worry about, because I'm just like, if they amp that shit up, people are going to be turned off by it no matter what.
Yeah.
Presentation, friends, delivery.
We got Chase and Kevin Owens wouldn't be a bad option. Could be that.
But how? Like, are we executing that? Is the question.
Yeah, we got power driver finishers. Let's feed them cross. I wouldn't mind that either. I mean, they're spooky bollocks too.
Spooky bollocks.
I just say, for me, I just think the only thing that they need to ensure before rolling him out or rolling them out is they need at minimum like 4 to 6 months of planning. Like, it needs to be planned. Like, you can't freestyle this. Like, this is something that they need to have they need to have shit cooked up for him to be able to do for shows, pawn shows, and have some form of like build up to it. Like, it's going to be great to see them for the first time, and it's going to be great to see that. But what do you do once now he is here? Like, he's here now. He's a part of this conglomerate. He's a part of this. What are you gonna do with him, and who are you gonna feed him to? Who you gonna feed him? Because you're gonna need to feed him somebody if you're gonna make him relevant. You can't make him come in and be a fucking loser. Like that's one thing you can't do. You can't do that. Like, if you do that, you done fuck the whole thing up. You fuck this whole thing up for like 4 or 5 months of build up. Yep. And now all of a sudden he's coming back in and he's losing to mid carders. Like, can't have that. So it's who you gonna feed this guy?
I agree with you there for sure. So we'll talk more about it as we are approaching, it seems, the reveal for Uncle Howdy and the Wyatt Six. But let's move on to WWE Raw this week. Monday Night Raw saw the continuation of the King and Queen of the Ring tournament as well. The show featured Jey Uso controversially defeating Ilya Dragunov, if you saw the fan feedback from this matchup, in what I thought was a pretty good main event, while Gunther beat Kofi Kingston in an excellent grudge match for both Jey and Gunther to advance to the King of the Ring semifinals next week on Monday Night Raw. Meanwhile, in the Queen of the Ring tournament, Io Sky beat Shayna Baszler in what I thought was a great match, really exceeded expectations with those two ladies showing off their chemistry from NXT, while Lyra Valkyria defeated Zoe Stark.
Voice sizes, I need a 7.
We got Lyra Valkyria defeating Zoe Stark in a solid affair for both Lyra.
Either one.
I'm gonna meet Krssi. For both Lyra and Io to advance to the Queen of the Ring semifinals. The show, however, kicked off with Drew McIntyre talking trash about CM Punk, Jey Uso, and even World Heavyweight Champion Damian Priest in the opening promo. This led to Damian Priest coming out to cut a damn good promo, probably arguably one of his best since becoming World Heavyweight Champion, calling out how Drew causes all his own problems and then blames everyone else. Priest agreed to face McIntyre for his title in the future. Speaking of the Judgment Day with Damian Priest, the Judgment Day picked up the victory in a number one contenders fatal 4-way thanks to help to potential Judgment Day member Carlito, who Damian Priest thought it was cool how he helped out JD McDonough and Finn Balor pick up the win over New Catch Republic, Authors of Pain, and some other tag team that I'm forgetting right now. Lillian Garcia made her return to do some ring announcing alongside Samantha Irvin. And then finally, we had some development in the IC title feud as Bronson Reed defeated Akira Tozawa, while Sami Zayn defeated Otis in Chad Gable's attempt to weaken both of his opponents for the King and Queen of the Ring premium live event. And he got laid out for his own actions in the post-match by Sami Zayn here. So I thought it was a good episode of Monday Night Raw, but everyone seemed to be very upset that we weren't going to get Gunther versus Dragunov in the King of the Ring tournament.
Same.
You were one of them, Krssi Luv. Why?
Because that just makes more sense. Like we've seen Jey, Gunther, like great job. Yeah. It's not like you know my stance on Jey. I like Jey. I'm just not on. I just don't think that's deserving of him to beat Gunther because that's what it's probably going to be.
Yeah. I feel like I think it was in our chat we had I believe it was Chase. I think Chase said calling him main event Jey Uso does feel like it's hurting him because it feels like they are telling us he's a main eventer, but they aren't showing us he's a main eventer.
Like he's not the Jey that we seen during the pandemic, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, he was a 3-dimensional character, and they've definitely made him more of a 1-dimensional character with the whole yeet. And I made the argument. I was like, I don't think the guy has really showed emotion, really. Like he had the whole feud with Jimmy where every other week Jimmy would screw him, and then the next week he'd be like, oh, yeet this, yeet that, yeet this, oh, do this in my entrance. Dude, like, aren't you like upset that Jimmy screwed you over?
Happiest failure I've ever seen over the last 5 months.
I'm over it.
Like he's lost every single championship match he's been in. Every single one. And he changes his outfit. He's getting the crowd pumped. He's hyped about the Fireflies. He's yeeting all over the place. He's got Pat McAfee yeeting on himself. Like everybody's yeeting, but he keep losing. And then he beats the fucking guy that we would have had the privilege of seeing another chapter in the Ilya and fucking.
It's more. They have more of a story.
Series.
They have a backstory.
Yeah, I'm with Krssi on that one. I am with Krssi on that one because this Gunther and Jey match is gonna be shitballs compared to fucking Ilya and Gunther.
I mean,
I'm
I'm glad you said compared because I think it's gonna be a good matchup. But yeah, it's Gunther and Dragunov, man. Their matches feed children, like they feed families, like they made Jimmy Macaram change his whole star rating system because of Ilya and Gunther from NXT UK. So yeah, I think that there are levels to this, and I understood why some fans were upset that we weren't going to get Dragunov and Gunther, but I also understand why WWE may want to build to that matchup.
Yeah, well. I get that too, like that. Then maybe it's too soon because Ilya just got there, so they want to like build to that part of the whole story, which is cool and fine. I'm here for all of that, but like well, then give them Jey and Gunther
because seconds of another Gunther and
fine.
Jey match. Just give us more sloppy seconds. That's basically what they're doing. Like, yeah, that shit again. Yeah, it's gonna be decent. You're gonna get a nice 3.5-star match out of it.
And what is it? The show is next Saturday, right?
Next Saturday. Yeah, next Saturday. Yeah.
Next Saturday.
So we're gonna have to start earlier if we're gonna do next Saturday. Just saying. Just want to put it out there.
Oh, you do Sunday?
What, like at 9 o'clock in the morning?
No, like 10 a.m. I'm not doing 9 o'clock. That's too much.
What time is the show? Is it the show at like?
I think the show starts at 1. Yeah, it starts at 1.
I mean,
so either
we'll talk in the
background
about that,
or move the day.
Yeah, move a day. Yeah, we'll talk about it. We'll figure it out.
I prefer to
we'll
do
let
Sunday,
y'all know.
But whatever. Yeah, we'll figure it
out. Okay. Either way works. But we got also in the chat here, Daniel Garcia 2.0 saying Drew is giving a lot of home run promos. Drew might be the best promo in the company right now.
I think he is. And so what? He's a loser and still keeps blaming everybody else, but he's giving great work. So what? Leave that man alone. He's trying to figure this shit out.
He is. He's doing his thing.
But was Damien giving more? Huh?
Drew is turning lemons into lemonade.
He is. He really is, though. And I'm here for all of it. And I like it. And was they making Damien more of a face in that when he did that promo? Because I was like, okay.
It feels like it. It feels like it. He's being baby face about a week.
But I think that's going to be probably a part of the bill for their world title matchup. But when they do the world title matchup, the roles are going to be reversed.
Okay.
We got Annika saying, yeah, it is. Ilya versus Gunther is a pre-LE matchup. I agree.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yes, Annika, I definitely.
And then we also got Chilling with Chase, who says, main event Jey Usos felt like a passive-aggressive dig by Roman Reigns. Roman was calling him that to gaslight him and let him know you were nothing without me. Yeah, you're main event Jey Uso with me, but without me, you're not a main eventer. That's basically what why Roman called him that in the first place.
Yeah, because you were just, what twin are you? I remember that.
Yeah, you're a twin.
They don't even remember who you are.
Which twin are you? We also got
you missed your tribal chief yet?
I've been missed him. I don't know about everybody else.
I mean, you hear the "We Want Roman" chants every week now.
Ain't that a bitch? Ain't that a bitch?
You don't know what you lost. You don't know what you lost until it's gone.
Right? He told
I couldn't stand him. Yep.
He gonna leave. And then they fucking cheered him. And now that he's gone with no foreseeable comeback in the next couple of months, now y'all crying because y'all want him. You fickle motherfuckers.
Fickle
motherfuckers. Sons of bitches. Will Chesa with a super chat donation. Thank you so much, good brother Will. He says, I think it will be Gunther versus Randy because Gunther has won all his matches with the Boston Crab, and who on SmackDown has a bad back? Good point. And has been dealing with an injured leg since the match with AJ. So that is a good point.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like it. I would rather see that match, but I just think that is they're gonna
You think they're gonna you think they're gonna use this as a tool in the bloodline story?
Correct.
If it's for the crowning of Gunther, I'm for it. But if this is to fucking try to keep the bloodline relevant, it's gonna feel very forced.
Yes. Let's not go with the other one, guys. Vala B with another super chat donation. Thank you so much, Vala B. He says, I think it's going to be a Yeetus Maximus versus Tama finals with Hunter in the back screaming bloodline and empties his clip. I do not want this King of the Ring tournament to be used as a freaking tool in the Bloodline storyline when it doesn't need it. The Bloodline storyline is going along very fine. It's going along very much better than we all thought when Roman and Brock was going to leave. It's going way better. This would be jumping the shark. This is too much. Too much.
Because we definitely were just like, okay, well, how are they going to do this now that the two main players are gone? But you put the supporting actors in the forefront now to make it much more of another story, another layer of the chapter for this book, for this story. And it doesn't need you're right, it does not need this, but knowing them is something that's going to be forced and like digged into this story where it's a part of the chapter that we're gonna hate.
Put the ones up, y'all. We put our ones up. We remember you, Roman. Josh won't do it.
One day.
I'm gonna put the one up for Josh.
One day we'll get the Josh.
I'm gonna put a one. I'm gonna put a one for Josh.
One up.
All right, guys. I'll do it. I'll put up the one.
I know what one. I knew it.
The man that gave Cody Rhodes the best match of his fucking life. And he still can't give him his flowers.
And only for freaking Dave Meltzer to give 5 stars to AJ and not Roman. That was bullshit, Dave. You should stop star rating.
Wait, hold on. He can give them 5 ratings? I mean, 5 stars?
He gave Cody Roman 4 3/4. He gave Cody AJ 5 stars. Yes, he did.
No, he did.
That's not even close. That's not even close. Roman and Cody was way better.
Dave. If y'all want to clip this for Dave and tag him on social media, go ahead, because I'm gonna just tell him, dude, it's either both 5 stars or neither one is 5 stars. That's how it works.
He said, WrestleMania, I'm gonna get Josh to do the one. Good luck with that, Chase.
AJ
Good luck
and
with
Cody
that.
5 stars.
He did.
Now,
I'll cut my hands off before that happens.
It was a really good match.
It was great. It was a great match.
Come on.
But 5 stars, bro, like he didn't give the other one 5 stars. He gave it 4 3/4. That's not even
arguably the greatest WrestleMania main event in the history of a 40+ year company. And you basically shitted on that.
He did.
He's at 4 3/4.
He Benzino'd Eminem basically.
Yeah,
that's basically what he just did. He gave the Marshall Mathers LP 3.5 or 4 mics. When it was one of the greatest albums of all time, when the world told him that shit, the world told fucking Dave Meltzer that was the greatest WrestleMania main event of all time. He said, "Nah, I don't think so."
He did this is just funny, but like I think that he's really trying to complete his Mount Rushmore of 4 3/4 WrestleMania matches that should have been 5 stars, because we have Shawn Michaels and Kurt Angle from WrestleMania 21.
Okay.
We got Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker from WrestleMania 25. And now we got Cody versus Roman from WrestleMania 40. He just needs one more to put there. One more to complete the Mount Rushmore of 4 3/4 that should have been 5-star WrestleMania matches.
He needs to kind of like put a bow on when he's going to stop doing star reviews. Because that come on, man. Like, I get that he has a style preference of what kind of matches he prefers and what he likes, but no, you got to rate the shit unbiasedly, and you just saw like literally the greatest WrestleMania main event, arguably in the history of the company. Like you got to.
And I'm right there. I'm right there with Bell. With Bell, like Bell's 100% right with her analyst here, saying Cody versus Roman is my storyline match of the year, not wrestling match of the year. That's Will versus Bryan. Yeah, like you want to argue that you were more emotionally invested in Cody versus Roman. That's your match of the year. You won't hear an argument for me. I gave that match 5 stars.
Absolutely.
I gave that match 5 stars. So like, I am with you there.
I agree.
Yes, Annika. Yes, Taker and HBK wasn't 5 stars. 4 3/4. He's trying to complete the Mount Rushmore now. Speaking
I'm convinced Dave Meltzer is definitely a hater, son. Like he's just a person that's just like His own worst enemy.
Facts. We do have some more.
Didn't he? He didn't give the triple threat, the Gunther, Sheamus, and Drew.
No, he gave that 5 stars. He gave that 5 stars.
5.
Yeah. Sheamus, Gunther, and Drew. He gave 5 stars,
and it deserves it.
Wait,
and it deserved it. And it deserved it.
It deserves it.
The tag team match, main event last year got 5 stars.
He gave Usos, Kevin Owens, and Sam. How did you give Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and Usos the 5 stars, but didn't give Cody and Roman 5 stars?
That's crazy. That's craziness to me.
Crazy.
And the match was better. Cody and Roman's match was better.
Way better.
I would say Cody and Roman's match was actually better because if you go back and watch that tag team matchup, it's a lot of pantomiming by Sami Zayn.
It was bad. Yeah, it was a lot of timing. It was about like some of the moments too. It was about the moments.
Yeah.
But Cody and Roman, had it was about the moments. But it was a great match for 20 minutes. They did a great match for 20 minutes.
Hi, Harlem. Hey, friend. How are you?
Say hi.
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 Hi, girl.
Tell them who your favorite wrestler is. She watches Jumanji 1 and Jumanji 2 all the time because she loves The Rock. She has a crush on The Rock.
Aww.
Yeah, we're talking about wrestling. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. She got a hot take. She got a hot take coming up.
Yep. She's like, I'm gonna sit in because I got some stuff to say.
Ready.
Yeah. You gonna tell them ready, set?
Ready, set,
go.
All right. I think your mommy's trying to get you. You can go back to mommy? Yeah. Okay. No, you're gonna sit back down. Okay. Speaking of WrestleMania, she sat back down on my lap.
She's like, nah, I'm not going nowhere. She's like, I ain't going nowhere.
I'm a star. I'm a star right now. The chairman of the Saudi Arabia General Entertainment Authority has said that there is talk about potentially bringing the Royal Rumble there to Saudi Arabia in 2026 or 2027. As previously reported, Saudi GEA Chairman Turki Al-Sheikhi said earlier this month that they are set to announce an enhancement of their deal with WWE, and that story had noted the country wants to bring either Royal Rumble or WrestleMania to Saudi Arabia. He appeared on the MMA Hour with Ariel Helwani. During the conversation, he was asked if 2025 Royal Rumble might potentially take place in Saudi Arabia. Alahi replied, "We are talking around 2026 or 2027 for WrestleMania or the Royal Rumble to be in the great country of Saudi Arabia."
Don't do it, friends.
Krssi Luv is like, no.
If they put a fucking WrestleMania in Saudi before they put one in fucking London, that will be fucking blasphemous. That will be fucking blasphemous.
But they're probably gonna give them like they're gonna give them probably like 25 mil, some foolishness like that. They're gonna give them a big old check.
Going in your hand.
The money is gonna be insane, but you gotta put one, especially after what them London and France in one show. France in one show. Y'all better, it gotta be the one of us. That shit gotta be the one of us. Like, if you do Saudi in 2030 or 2032 or some shit, that's something different. But if you gonna go out of the country for your first WrestleMania show, that shit's better be in one of the most loyal fucking loyal countries that the company has had in decades. And that is that London fan base. Like, London would definitely deserve that shit way before fucking Saudi would. Just saying, that would be fucking insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I definitely agree.
Yeah, I wouldn't do WrestleMania.
Like, if you don't give him Royal Rumble and test the waters, cool, but don't jump the fucking ship and just go straight ham and do the biggest show you have.
I'll come out in a little bit. Okay.
Shit, man, I'll give them Survivor Series. Fuck that.
Give them like Backlash or like don't give them like the main stuff. Like
it's one of the big four.
It's one of the big four, right? Don't do Rumble, and I wouldn't do like. Give them Survivor Series. Like let them have the War Games there or whatever. You know, it's fine. It's okay. Give them Backlash.
But then also you got. Imagine doing a women's Royal Rumble there with all of them, like they're all gonna have to be covered.
Yeah,
I
think that the more they get talking and the more reports, the more interviews he does, that this is gonna come to fruition. So we're just it's gonna happen.
It looks like it's gonna happen. It's just
that's why
I know I won't be there. So just that you can do whatever the hell they want to do.
The fact that it's a report in 2024, it's inevitable. But if you're gonna pick one, do the Royal Rumble. Do the Royal Rumble.
But also, if they did WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia, it will be the highest grossing WrestleMania of all time.
I don't give a fuck about all that.
Will it be?
Because Saudi Arabia, these Saudi Arabia events have made more money for WWE than every single WrestleMania.
Really? Okay.
Yes, they make 25 million off every show, and that's regardless of tickets and stuff sold.
That's the thing I said. They're gonna give them like 25 mil. The money gonna be there. It's just what it is, and they're gonna take it, so it's fine. Whatever. They're not listening to us. They're getting that 25 million. They're probably gonna pay people's salaries. So. Yeah.
Well, I mean, to be fair, they're just gonna fire people, and then they'll just keep that.
Then they're gonna bring in fucking. Then we're gonna have Goldberg back at WrestleMania. Then we're gonna have Undertaker back at WrestleMania. We're gonna have
the old dudes.
$10 million Shawn Michaels match at WrestleMania. Like,
we'll finally get Shawn Michaels versus AJ Styles. Can't wait. To answer this question,
they'll probably try to pay fucking Sting $30 million and give you
that just gave me an aneurysm.
Sting's last match. Senior Nerd, it's actually worse than you think. He says, did he give Rock and Hogan a 4.25 star? That match deserves 5. He gave it 3.25 stars. I think your rating is more accurate, not the 5, the 4.25. I think it's closer to that than 3.25.
Yeah, that's a match I would show to any casual fan that's watching for the first time, but you're not watching it for like a catch as catch can good wrestling match. You're watching it for that crowd, and you're watching it for the emotion.
100%. So many wrestlers, that's their favorite match of all time. And yes, I've been trying, Bell. I've been trying. Y'all gotta help me with my campaign. I want to take the stars away. I'm gonna take the stars away from you, Meltzer. Just hand the stars over.
But also, and I think Backlash, I think he gave a lot of matches like almost like 4, right? Over 4. Like
he gave the women's triple threat 4.5 stars. He gave the Bloodline tag team matchup 4.75.
What?
Yes. I legitimately think he was doing star ratings for the crowd,
4.5,
not for the actual match.
For the triple threat women's match.
For the triple threat women's match, I went 3.75.
I thought it was like 3.5. I thought it was like 3.5.
Randy Orton and
Kevin Owens versus the Bloodline, 4.75. 4.75.
Yeah, it goes back. You know what it goes back to? It goes back because it
influences rating.
That's why. Because Dave usually one of his when he does the star ratings, part of it is how the crowd is reacting. And because they had a more over crowd, I think 3 of those matches had over 4 stars. So, which I'm not surprised he did it, but I'm like, even the main event. I mean, the main event was great, but was it 5 stars? No, but it was high. It was a great main event.
I didn't think that was a 5-star match.
Nah, I initially. I said it was between 4.5 and 4.75.
Yeah, which I was like, because even so, right? Even like the Cody and Roman stuff, like we wouldn't be having this discussion like for because even I said I was just like 4 3/4. I was like, I think that's fair. But then when you gave this one 5, I was like, wait a minute, what the fuck? I was like, might as well just give the Roman and Cody 5 for that thing. Like,
yep,
you know what I mean?
That's what I said. It's either both 5 or you cannot tell me Cody and Roman is like a quarter star less than AJ and Cody.
What did he give Damian and Jay?
3.5.
3.5. That's fair. That was fair.
He didn't give,
which I thought that was like 3.5.
He didn't give them. He didn't give them the crowd boost. He didn't give them the crowd boost. No, he didn't give them the crowd boost.
Yeah, and I think the women's tag he gave 3. He gave like 3 stars, which I think I thought it was lower than that, like a little bit lower than that.
There's a lot of time wasted on Dave Meltzer's bullshit stars.
That's what happened, yo. That's what happened.
Like unbelievable. This guy's unbelievable. Like what? Yo, you know what? Flowers to that France crowd, though.
Yeah, y'all got 5 stars.
Best crowd I've ever seen. Best crowd I've ever seen.
Y'all got 5 stars for AJ and Cody. Y'all crowd reactions got that.
Yo, the fact that Naomi looked like the biggest star in the world for her entry, like the biggest star in the world. They made everybody so important, which was so great. It was so great. It was great to see. Everybody looked like mega stars that night.
Yeah. I do agree though. It is funny. Dave Meltzer, whenever his ratings come out, I do have a good laugh at them.
I guess it creates these kind of conversations.
Exactly. I get the.
But it's crazy though. That's what he has. That's what he's actually talked about. Like usually that's what he does it for. But then also he was like that. He wants like these discussions. Like when he rates stuff, like he wants it. Like say like if you give a match 5 stars, right? And then somebody else gives it 4, right? The same match, they give it like 4 stars. He was like, that's where, like he was like, hey, you can make a debate off of that, but I'm not. But he was like, but if I'm not giving a full, like if I'm taking like a quarter off, like he was just like, it's not that far off. Why is there like an argument off of that? I was like, because it's stupid. That's why.
Because it's stupid. It's stupid to give that one and that one 2 different ratings when they're basically one lacked build-up and had a great match in front of an all-time crowd, and the other had one of the greatest build-ups to a WrestleMania match ever and had a great match with a great crowd. It feels like the extra star was for the crowd. That's what it feels like. The extra quarter is for the crowd. A new president has been appointed for Cyberfight. Cyberfight is the parent company for Pro Wrestling Noah and mentioned WWE during their press conference. While Yahashi Akamoto was introduced, he noted that his main goal for Cyberfight, which is the parent company for not only Pro Wrestling Noah, but also for DDT Pro and Tokyo Joshi Pro, 2 companies that in the past have worked with AEW. He said that his main goal for being the Cyberfight president is to strengthen the relationship with WWE. The companies have worked together in recent history as Shinsuke Nakamura wrestled the Great Muta on his retirement tour, but it seems more and more like WWE is creeping on over to Japan, whether it's Marigold, whether it's this relationship with Noah. All Japan Pro Wrestling have been Charlie Dempsey earlier this year. What do you think about WWE embracing the Forbidden Door, JJ?
Meh.
I don't buy it at all. I don't buy it at all until I like literally just see it in play. Like, because this is not something that is common to the WWE world. And, there's that last bit of let's see if they are actually fair to the Japan wrestlers and actually have them look good to a degree while still having their talent, their main talent will probably like go over and shit like that. But this is basically if it's a showcase to show that the WWE has the best talent in the world, take the fucking merger or take whatever it is, take the partnership or whatever you want to call it, throw it out the fucking window. Because we already know that they believe that they have the hottest fucking talent in the world. Like that's not news to anybody. Like let's put other people on the map now. That would be really good to see. If you do that, then I'm for it to a degree. But right now I ain't buying it at all.
Yeah, it was hilarious. The grifters, the anti AEW grifters, who said, saw Big
The
Man Dog said,
anti-AEW, the anti-AEW.
he said, I saw WWE fans who thought Kenta was in Noah. Yes, they thought because Kenta was in Noah almost a full decade ago, they thought he was still in Noah because he's in Japan. Gotta love it.
But I guess
Gotta love
this
it.
is a lot of.
Oh, I know you're talking about. You're talking about that main prick Fade, right? Where he was like talking about like how Kenta and CM Punk was going to be like Rock and Stone Cold, and then he was called out by so many. He was called out by so many wrestling media, rightfully so, because I think that guy's a fucking idiot. So yeah, just wanted to get that out there.
Yeah,
Lovely.
Yeah,
very.
I mean,
And then finally, before we wrap up WWE with some NXT, as previously reported, Drew McIntyre confronted Damian Priest on Monday's episode of WWE Raw. Priest told McIntyre that he would get a shot once he's cleared from his elbow injury. The Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that the match is expected to happen at Clash at the Castle on June 16th in Glasgow, Scotland. McIntyre has a fractured...
Okay, great. Oh, sorry.
He has a fractured elbow. His last match on WWE TV was on April 8th, but he has appeared for promo segments since then. And that's why I said, I think that, yeah, probably in the build-up, they will present Priest as more of the babyface next to McIntyre. But when the bell rings in Scotland, McIntyre's the babyface.
Yep,
and this kind of means to me that unless Punk's going to show up to Scotland and screw McIntyre and get booed out the building, Priest is going to be a transitional champion?
Yeah.
I mean,
I just said it. Like I was like, oh, so yeah, he's going to lose then. Okay, great. This is the win that he wanted. What was it, last year or the year before last?
2 years ago.
2 years ago. This is the win that he's going to get.
But do you think that would be the right call?
Not necessarily. I think that it will do some damage to Damian Priest, regardless of what they think.
I don't think it's the right call. I really don't think.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Especially if Drew is injured. Like if he's injured and he's working hurt, I wouldn't do it. That's part of it. But I don't know, man. Like Priest, he's been a better champion than I expected, and I do like the fact that they are slowly turning him babyface little by little. I think this is the worst case scenario for him in front of that crowd. That's the
Yeah, because that's going to be the main event too. That would be wouldn't it be his first time in like a one-on-one main event on a pay-per-view?
Yeah.
Priest?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, because he's been the main event for like War Games, but never like one-on-one main event.
no, not one-on-one. Yeah, so that'll be his first, and it's just like you turn to him face, and then he goes in front of that crowd. He's not face, like so. It's like, I don't know. I don't know. It's not the good scenario for him.
Well,
yeah, I'm with you. I'm with Josh, man, because I do think that this is a point in time where I think Damian needs that title to build his stardom. Like he needs that look because it looks really good on him. Like he needs that look to continue and to have moments as a champion and not just to hold it for 2 months and then hand it over to somebody. And then now he's back fighting with his Judgment Day brethren and then it's back to square one. Like, it's like he needs this. Like, Drew McIntyre honestly does not need that championship at all right now. He does not need it. Like, he has been on fire without it. So, like, giving him the title while Priest is champion, I don't think that's the right call. Maybe you take that title from. Like,
but don't you want the title on program? And when Punk is back, the top program is Punk and McIntyre.
Yeah,
it can happen, but I think that Priest needs a couple of successful defenses and more time on TV as champion. I think he just needs that build. He needs a build as a champion. Having 7 or 8 weeks of television or 7 or 8 weeks of program, and then you drop the title, and then somebody's getting blamed because it's going to go back to a bad story. Like, he's not going to be back in that prominent title picture because once Drew drops the title, he's out of the picture. Like, he's out of the picture. So that's the problem. So, like, he'll get probably that one-off rematch and then he's out. So it's like you gotta sustain this for a little longer and just let him have a decent run, because once he's out of it, once CM Punk returns, like that top spot is gone. Once Seth Rollins returns, that spot is gone. Like it's over. So like let the man have a run until these major players come back.
Yeah,
That's right.
And Priest has been good.
Priest
has been good.
Yeah,
and that's why I mean, like his title run. Again, I like the slow babyface build up. Like I like how they've been making him look. Now, if he was like freaking bland and not doing anything significant, then I would have been like, yeah, pull the plug. But they're doing something with him that I wouldn't want this. Like I wouldn't want to pull the title from him now, based off of that.
Nah, you guys make good points. I feel you. I feel you.
Body can Punk, as long as Punk is with the company, they're gonna spotlight him. So as long as he's there, he's in the spotlight. He's gonna be a highlight. You can't say the same thing about Damian Priest. You just can't. It just there's no merit to it yet, because there's no meat on that bone at all right now.
Exactly. It's lost in the sauce, friend. The meat came off already. In the pot.
Oh, but what's the big feud? But like what I'm saying is, like, McIntyre winning the championship at Clash of the Castle is an ends to a means of putting the world title on the top program of McIntyre and Punk. What's the program for Priest if he does beat McIntyre at Clash of the Castle?
Bro, they just
which is a fair point. It's also a fair point.
These two Logan Paul at fucking Cody Rhodes. They could make something up. Cody
Rhodes is a star. Logan Paul is a star. Damian Priest is someone they're trying to build as a star. So I think that he should be facing more main event stars instead of guys you're still trying to make a star too, like Jey Uso.
Okay, they just threw AJ Styles at Cody Rhodes as well. Like they could.
He's an established star, a former champion.
But come on, y'all know. You even said this shit. You know that was the most fucking just non-thought of, put together shit. After he won his championship after WrestleMania, they basically had nothing for the man.
Nothing.
So they just fed him AJ Styles.
Yep.
So you could feed somebody, Drew. You could feed somebody to Damian Priest, and at least get 2-3 more months out of this shit, and let people see that he can establish himself. If you take this shit away from him next month, like he as Krssi said, lost in the sauce, that shit will be all sauce.
Our friend SP is frozen right now. We lost him.
Oh,
okay, there you go. There you go. Okay.
Yeah. No. JJ is he times his rants very well out, so it gives me time to recover from being frozen. Very well said. Very well said.
I just want to see somebody.
I mean, he has some good points though. I think both sides make good points. I think both sides. I think there's fair points. I think Top Guy has made good points, but I also do see Sid's point is like, hey, after this, where do we go from Priest? I do get it, but again, like if you're gonna make this guy the champion, he has the belt now. Do something with that, because there's people who are on the shelf. Might as well do something now,
right?
As long as they're on the shelf.
It's very much like y'all said earlier, like right after, and this is one prior shows, like after they basically booked up until WrestleMania and didn't book anything after that.
Nope.
So now if you just it's kind of like go back to what you know. Take the title off of Priest and put it on McIntyre. It's literally going back to what you know. See what happens with this run. Like, give the fucking man a chance. Like, it's somebody new. It's someone different. It's somebody out of the normal, like, 4 guys that holds the belt.
It is.
Like this is very refreshing to see. It's very refreshing to see somebody different with the championship.
And I know, Chase, that's the most obvious one. He says Priest could feud with Finn. They killed Finn as a main eventer. Like, let's be real. Like that you're like, Chase, I know you've said this in now multiple comments, but you haven't acknowledged the fact
that is the shit that
Finn as a main eventer during that Seth Rollins feud last year.
Yes.
Where he couldn't even pick up a briefcase. So don't tell me that that's the hot program that's going to be the world title program while McIntyre and Punk is also going on. That's obviously the top.
He went 0-3.
That's obviously the main event program. He's gonna be a mid-card title program again if he's feuding against Finn Balor. That's not
that shit is so annoying to me. How they gave him
3 title defenses. I mean, 3 championship matches, and he lost all 3. It's like at this point, it's like, why do I care? Why do I care about Finn? Yeah. Even with Edge, even the whole thing with Edge, he fucking with Edge, and he lost. So it's like, how am I supposed to take Finn serious now? Yeah. Like, you know, they get made it like, he resigned.
There's a reason they're putting him in the tag team with JD, because that's gonna be his role now.
Yeah.
Until they're ready to make Priest a full-on babyface and he's feuding against Judgment Day, Finn's gonna be a tag team guy, guys.
And remember, it was so bad that when he resigned, it was so bad that when he resigned with WWE, I said, yeah, it's a good move, because he would have gone to AEW, he would have jobbed to Adam Copeland. I'm like, do I want to see that? No. So I was like, he's better. Like, this is where he's at now. This is where Finn is at now. It's like, any hopes of him being a main event star, I think those days are gone.
Yeah. He says, Chase says, oh, that's true, but what about my comment on Gunther? I think Gunther, they're saving that for Bash in Berlin, but we still got a freaking big event before then, SummerSlam. Who do you put against Priest at SummerSlam?
Yeah.
Like that's my whole thing.
That's
just my whole thing.
Listen,
I don't see
that's
the
why
big
we don't
main
work
event
for WWE. Let them figure it out.
Also true. But let's finish up with WWE with NXT this week. The show featured Tony D'Angelo defeating Charlie Dempsey to win the NXT Heritage Cup in the main event. You also had Oba Femi. He set up a triple threat match for number one contender to determine who will face him for the North American Championship between Wesley, Josh Briggs, and Ivar for next week's show, and who will face him for the North American Championship at NXT Battleground. But then all 3 contenders were attacked by the returning Gallus to end the show. You also had backstage, the show kicked off with Noam Dar beaten down backstage as Metaphor believed it was Trick Williams. That didn't stop Lash Legend, though, from picking up a victory to qualify for the NXT Women's North American Championship ladder match, as well as Sol Ruka defeating Izzy Dane in the other qualifying match. Metaphor was also involved in Ora Mensa's matchup against Javon Evans, but it was Trick Williams who helped out Evans to pick up the victory over Mensa. So some pretty good stuff on this episode of NXT, where we have some news about NXT as Eddie Thorpe had an update this week. Fightful Select had an update on the NXT star who hasn't been seen since his NXT Underground matchup in December against Dijak. He suffered an injury in that matchup that has taken him out for the early part of 2024. He recently returned to the ring on NXT Level Up on March 19th. He's also worked multiple live events since returning. However, he has not appeared on the main weekly NXT TV show since about December, only working Level Up in house shows. According to the report, Eddie Thorpe was previously sidelined as a result of a hip injury he suffered in NXT Underground. A production source in NXT called the hip injury a freak accident. He was later cleared to return to the ring in late February, early March. Thorpe has also suffered a previously unknown injury in October of 2023, and sources in NXT creative side tell Fightful that Thorpe is expected to return to the main NXT weekly TV show in the near future. He's said to be healed from any known injuries, and he's still active on the house shows and NXT Level Up. But speaking of injuries, another big injury happened this week for NXT and for WWE overall, as Ivar suffered an injury during the show-ending angle with Gallus. WWE posted the statement saying, breaking, as a result of the heinous attack by Gallus at the end of NXT, at Ivar_WWE has suffered an injury and will be out of action indefinitely. Wesley and Josh Briggs were also attacked, but in regards to Ivar's injury, in a post on X, Andrew Sports Medicine announced that Ivar is working with them to overcome a spinal injury. He took to social media on Friday to further give more of an update on his condition. He says, there has been a lot of misinformation floating around about me. Let me clarify. Yes, I am injured. Yes, it is very serious. No, I have not had surgery. Still trying to figure out all options and what this means for my future. That being said, I want to thank everyone for the outpouring of love and support, not only after finding out I was injured, but throughout the last several months. I have heard you all. No matter what happens, I owe it to everyone who has ever believed in me to do everything I can to get back in the ring, under those lights, and in front of the most amazing fans on the planet. See your asses as soon as possible. And Fightful Select reports that there have been heavy discussion around Gallus heading into the WWE draft this year. They were expected to be called up to the main roster, but plans did change before then. So, unfortunate incident with Ivar getting injured, because he was getting somewhat of a push on NXT, so that sucks.
Damn.
He's putting on some really good matches.
So now both of them are now both members are injured, correct?
Both members of the Viking Raiders, yeah.
Damn, that's someone to put a hex on these. I keep telling you, someone put a hex on these wrestlers, man.
And their injuries have been like really bad too. Like the one's coming back from he had neck surgery. So it's been like really tough. But then they also are bigger guys. So fortunately, a lot of the wear and tear is gonna hit more. So hopefully, hopefully this guy comes back soon. He is one of their best workers, like in the ring wise. So that does hurt them in a way, because he was not only great in the ring, but he was elevating other people. So that does hurt them and like a lot of people might not look at it that way, but it's pretty significant, especially in NXT. He was so hopefully everything works out.
As previously reported, WWE NXT will be moving to the CW this October, although it will remain in its usual Tuesday night slot. In an interview with Variety, CW president Dennis Miller said that the network would not have been able to afford either Raw or SmackDown. Raw will be moving to Netflix next year, while SmackDown is going to the USA Network. He said, "We knew that Raw and SmackDown were slightly a bit beyond our budget. Then if you look, we have a lot of sports where we have kind of the next tier moving into the first tier here, whether it's the Infinity races leading into the Cup, or it's NXT leading into Raw and SmackDown. So it just started to fit. Then over the course of a couple of months, we went back and forth and got the deal done." I'm looking forward to seeing if there's any changes in the presentation and the look for NXT moving over to the CW.
Which changes? Like hopefully it's none of that colorful shit that they had before.
No. I'm not talking about that type of changes, but I don't know about y'all, but when I look at like a network television show, it looks different from a cable television show. SmackDown feels and looks different from Monday Night Raw.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like there's like an aura to it. I get what he's saying. I totally get what he's saying.
Yeah, right. That's how I feel. I don't know. But EW Dynamite, we're moving over into the Converse.
Ace is also right too. Like CW does have like their production look. It doesn't. There's like a darkness to it that doesn't make it like pop the way it should. Maybe they'll have different like cameras for it. Maybe they'll have a different on-screen look for it. But I get what it kind of looked like Nitro, like how Nitro just had that dark look to it. Like almost like when you watch a DC and a Marvel show and a Marvel movie. Like the look of the DC movies just looks different compared to the vibrance and the aesthetics of a Marvel movie.
Right.
Like CW has like the DC look.
That you're right on that, JJ. Because even with the shows that they have on their on that network are like more like gritty. Right. They're not like your standard regular shows, if that makes sense. Like, they're giving the feel of like the dark look of like a Law and Order or something like that, or like their old shows like Buffy and all those shows that they had on that network.
Yeah, that is true. So we'll see if there's going to be any changes aesthetically wise or presentation wise. Moving over to the Converse, AEW Dynamite this week. did not do good in the ratings at all.
Damn.
672,000.
That's why the playoffs is killing them.
672,000 viewers, which is one of their lowest total viewerships ever for the program. The show featured Kazuchika Okada defeating Dax Harwood in what I thought was a very good main event to retain the AEW Continental Championship. Post-match, the Elite jumped Dax until Cash Wheeler and Bryan Danielson came out to make the save, but the numbers overwhelmed them, only for the home state boy in Washington, Darby Allin, who just got hit by a bus 2 weeks ago, returned to come out for the real side and reveal himself to replace Eddie Kingston in the Anarchy in the Arena match at Double or Nothing, an exciting close to the show. You also had, speaking of the Blackpool Combat Club, Bryan Danielson. He was in action on the show, teaming up with Jon Moxley to defeat Kyle Fletcher and Jeff Cobb in what I thought was a super fun, intense tag team opener. Post-match, Konosuke Takeshita attacked Moxley, laying him out to set up an IWGP World Heavyweight Title Eliminator matchup at Double or Nothing between Takeshita and Moxley. Swerve Strickland defeated Brian Cage in what I thought was an awesome grudge match. Post-match, the Patriarchies, Nick Wayne and Killswitch, attacked Swerve after a distraction from Christian Cage.
New name? Killswitch?
Killswitch. Yeah, it's been Killswitch. It's been that for like 5 months now. Smashing a frame picture over...
right lately.
Smashing a framed picture of Swerve's family over his head, busting him open in a nice little callback to Swerve doing the same thing to Nick Wayne last year in his home gym. Christian then cut a scathing promo on Swerve, calling him an absentee father, and then wiping his blood on the photo of his family and bringing up the intensity of this matchup. The Young Bucks defeated Christopher Daniels and Matt Sydal in an AEW tag team title eliminator matchup. Post-match, the Bucks went off and fired Christopher Daniels from AEW. Meanwhile, Jack Perry was just an asshole to Tony Schiavone, pouring a Woo energy drink over his head. Will Ospreay and Roderick Strong had a fabulous back and forth promo segment backstage that established that both men don't respect each other heading into their AEW International Championship match at Double or Nothing. Hook made his return in a quick squash win. Post-match, the Learning Tree, Chris Jericho and Big Bill came out to suggest Hook to compete in an FTW #1 Contenders series starting on AEW Collision. Hook smashed a mic over Jericho's head, busting him open before Big Bill attacked. This led to Shibata making the save. And Willow Nightingale and Mercedes Moné had an excellent contract signing for their TBS Championship matchup at Double or Nothing that ended with Willow putting Mercedes through a table for Mercedes' first bump since her surgery and since coming to AEW. Josh, you were watching it live here on the channel. Your overall thoughts on this week's Dynamite?
I thought it was a pretty solid show. I like some of the things they did. The contract signing was really good.
Yep.
It was a good segment, and I was like, "Oh, looks like they're going heel with Mercedes." Good, especially when it comes to like this feud that's been going on. Swerve and Cage was really good. It's just I don't know with Swerve, it kind of feels like they're going to Hangman route. Where remember when Hangman was the champion and he was always getting fucked up. And then, when they had the big matches, he always showed up. But then he was always like had it to when it comes to the feuds, he ended up looking like really dumb in the feuds because he was always getting the underhand. It feels like that's what they're doing with Swerve.
I would say that Swerve feels familiar to Hangman in that they're not the main character of the show, even though they're the world champion. Yeah, that's what that feels. Because I don't remember Hangman taking a lot of like consecutive weeks like it's been for Swerve as far as like the Christian feud. It's been consecutive weeks. He's got the better and outsmarted Swerve in different ways, which it's helping the build up for the matchup. But I think that you're right in saying that it's similar to Hangman in that they don't feel like the main character. They feel like they're in the second biggest feud in the company.
Damn.
Yeah, and it's just I don't know when it comes. I get what they're doing. I get what they're doing. Even though I think Christian Cage is a good feud for him, and then the stuff that Christian Cage has been doing too. I thought like the picture stuff was great. that he rubbed the blood. I thought that was it's great. It's great shit. So when it comes to that, I mean, like, the match is gonna be great. So I'm not worried about that. But everything else, I mean, again, they added to some certain things. I was surprised as fuck with Darby. So I'm like, wait a minute, didn't this dude have a broken foot and then he got hit?
Exactly. How is
at the same time, I'm like, I'm not really surprised because it's Darby. So I'm like, if you're gonna bring somebody back who's hurt, Darby is the best option to do that with. So I wasn't
not alive. I'm
like,
convinced.
I know a lot of people were upset about it. They're like, oh, he's a fucking idiot for doing it. I'm like, hey, we've seen worse in wrestling. We've seen people who've been cleared for
likes
worse
this stuff. If he want to do it, let him do it. Like he's
and then anarchy in the arena
forever. So let him fucking exercise his youth.
Correct.
Yeah, no, but then also anarchy in the arena, like that shit could go either way. Like that could benefit him because he's not taking real bumps in the ring. It's more of a brawl style, so it could benefit him. But that was a nice surprise. I thought Darby coming back because I'm like, I didn't fucking expect it, and I'm just like, wait a minute, what the fuck? It was just so random, but it was it got a great reaction from the crowd. So I mean, it worked out.
Yeah. We also got in the chat our good brother Nate Milton. Nate Milton, I'm gonna read this comment because I understand you wanted to get off a joke, but hell no, AEW did not move fast on making Mercedes Moné a heel. He says AEW bailed on Mercedes being a heel, being a babyface faster than these new WNBA fans finna bail on the league now that their girl Caitlyn is out here struggling. No, they did not. We spent that whole month of us on this show begging AEW to turn Mercedes Moné heel. So no, it was not that fast. It was not that fast. It
was like 2 months, right? We're like in month 2.
I literally was begging. Remember on the show we did after Big Business, I said that Mercedes should have attacked Willow then.
Yeah, you did.
I've been saying it since her debut. And it wasn't until like 2 weeks ago that they finally was like, okay, we're just going to present her as a heel. Thank you.
Yeah.
Was it quick? I don't think it was quick.
Fucking love stories with the crowd is fucking cringe as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, I love you guys. And like,
it wasn't fast enough. Yeah, it wasn't fast enough. I'll give you that. It definitely was not fast enough.
Yeah.
It was not fast enough. It was not fast enough.
At all. At all. They could have done that way fast. They could have done it the way that WNBA fans are turning on Caitlyn Clark. I would have loved that.
I'm more surprised that there are fans in the WNBA, but that's
that is true. That is true.
Guys. At least they did it.
We got a super chat donation from the good brother Chuck Berries once again. Thank you so much, Chuck Berries, for another huge super chat donation. He says, you mean to tell me that Mercedes could take a table bump, but she could not do a couple of legit matches to build her up and properly introduce her? I think that she probably just got cleared this week.
Yeah.
So by the time that the last pay-per-view happened, Dynasty, she wasn't cleared. So for anybody wants to use this point, it probably most likely just happened. So I mean, but then also, I mean, a table bump compared to an actual match is two completely different things. So I mean, you taking a table bump, it's a simple bump. You're doing it when you're working a match, especially when she had a broken ankle. That's a whole different animal that we're talking about. So I don't think that's that big of a deal.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Some AEW news. Eddie Kingston unfortunately suffered a leg injury during his match with Gabe Kidd at NJPW Resurgence, and I literally said it as soon as the spot happened, and we'll talk about Resurgence in a bit here. The Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that the word backstage at Wednesday's Dynamite was that Eddie Kingston suffered a broken leg, which was confirmed later on. Kingston shared a photo of himself in a wheelchair with a brace. He was smoking weed in the picture. Shout out to Eddie. A new report has an update on Eddie Kingston's injury. PW Insider reports that Kingston is confirmed to have suffered a tubular fracture in his leg, which he took while taking a suplex through a table at NJPW Resurgence. The report notes that Kingston's leg slammed over the guardrail when he went through the table. The injury is said to have been confirmed following X-rays in California. Kingston is awaiting confirmation on how it will be addressed from a medical standpoint, but he is said to be hoping to return by AEW All In London, and that will depend on whether the surgery is needed or not.
Prayers for him.
That was a tough bump. When I saw it, like from the rails, I was like, as tough as Eddie is.
I was like, this is not a good idea. As soon as they were going for it, I was like, this is not a good idea. This table, Eddie is too tall. Too tall for this.
And New Japan, and they're ringside for New Japan. They're pretty short. They're not like the standard long, like, outside thing. It's very small. So it was a tough spot. And I guess, like as tough as Eddie is, I mean, yeah, he finished the match. He still went and he finished the match.
He did the post-match angle. He did the whole angle with the Young Bucks. I give him all the credit in the world. So, yeah,
it's a tough dude. But then once I saw that brace when he was once I saw that picture, I'm like, yeah, he's done for a while. He's smoking weed.
Yeah, what's is that the timing of this shit is always the fucking worst, Joe.
Yep.
Like he's literally at his point, just like the peak of his career, basically.
Peak.
Like this is the highest. This is the most over he's been. He's a fucking champion, and this happens to him. Motherfucker hasn't held a championship basically most of his career. He's fine. And now he becomes really over, and then he becomes a champion. And one of the worst possible injuries that you just can't wrestle through happens to him. Like it just stinks. It stinks.
I mean, I give it to Eddie, though. Like, he's a tough son of a bitch, so I'm hoping he has a speedy recovery. So all of us at Tru Heel Heat, wishing the best for Eddie as he recovers from that injury. As reported, an IWGP World Title Eliminator matchup was added to AEW Double or Nothing, with Jon Moxley going one-on-one with Konosuke Takeshita. The Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that the likely reason the match isn't for the title is because NJPW controls that belt and decides when title matches happen. It is likely they didn't want to announce a title match with another already scheduled. In this case, Moxley is already set to defend the title at Dominion on June 9th against fucking Evil. There is also speculation from Dave Meltzer that NJPW may not want a DDT wrestler in Takeshita to go over their world champion, or there may be potential political issues preventing a DDT wrestler from challenging for that belt. So very interesting kind of scenario that they're in. Honestly, I said when I was talking with actually Chase on social media, the fact that it's not a title match makes the outcome less predictable. If it was a title match, Moxley wins.
Yeah.
The fact that it's not a title match and it's an eliminator, there's a chance Takeshita can win.
Yeah.
Well,
but go ahead, JJ.
No, I'm saying, well, I was just agreeing with you. I'm like, yep, element of surprise gone. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I was like, I ain't got nothing to add, but yeah, you just nailed it.
Yeah, President Evil made the decision to make it an eliminator. But if you've heard the Konosuke Takeshita interview from this week, you might be worried about his future in AEW. Konosuke Takeshita has been a big part of AEW TV this year. He recently talked about some the difficulties he's had competing on U.S. television. He spoke with DDT Pro Wrestling for a new interview ahead of his match against Minoru Suzuki tomorrow on DDT Pro. He said, I've seen, talking about Minoru Suzuki, he said, I've seen him wrestle in AEW in person, and I've learned lots at the many indie shows that we shared locker rooms together. Our styles and philosophies on wrestling differ, but our way of life as a wrestler, and it might not be the right way to phrase it, but his resilience in an unforgiving industry is amazing. And I've come to understand how amazing that skill is in my current environment, seeing how often he is called over to shows, whether in Japan or America. On the challenges of making a space for himself on United States television, he said, "I thought hard work could cover for everything else before getting there. If I showed how good I am, I could get more airtime. But there are other aspects that come to play when competing here in America. Discrimination is not the word here, but unfortunately, there's a lack of space for an Asian person to be on a TV show watched by Americans. No matter how good my condition was, nor the amount of matches I was put in, or how many times they said my match was good, it felt like I couldn't make it in the starting lineup. To put it in baseball terms, everyone felt they're having fun wrestling here in Japan. I didn't have any fun wrestling ever since I got to America. The effort was bearing fruit, but I didn't feel the enjoyment. It was the most mentally exhausting period in all 12 years of my wrestling career. However, when I stopped having fun, my matches were better received and I gained more recognition, and it's not proportional." Very interesting conversation here. So I put it in the headline here because it was a topic of conversation when this interview, and of course him saying like he hasn't been having fun in America, and then it makes you kind of look more closely at his run in AEW the last 2 years. Has AEW dropped the ball on Konosuke Takeshita? Could they have done more? I would say I would lean more to yes. He beat Kenny Omega in Wembley Stadium. He beat Kenny Omega at All Out. And then they did absolutely jack and shit with him. He just had a match of the year candidate with Will Ospreay at Revolution. What did they follow that up with? He was not on TV for the past month. Like there has to be some type of balancing act. There has to be, if this guy is going to beat one of your former world champions, you have to have a plan for him after the fact. And it just doesn't seem like they ever have a concrete plan for Konosuke Takeshita when he is obviously one of the top 5 or 6 best workers on your roster. It makes no sense to me.
Because they just threw him with the Don Callis people because they really didn't have anything for him when he got there. That's really what it is. That's what it is. They just didn't have anything for him. They wanted to sign him so bad, but they didn't put out a plan for him to like be pushed in a great way.
That in just terms just let you know that this is a very challenging, difficult business. Like it's everybody can't be up top. Everybody can't be on the top. So there's gonna unfortunately be those people that you miss on that while pushing others. So it's like to a degree, it's and there's no disagreeing with the misuse or lack of push for Takeshita, but it's like almost like say at whose expense are they putting him in that spotlight for? And then it's like it becomes tough because now if you say take away Swerve's push and then you put Takeshita there, where's Swerve's push going? I'm
not going against what you're saying, but I'm just saying, yeah, you don't want to neglect Swerve. You don't want to neglect Will Ospreay. Honestly, though, I would have had Takeshita win the international title before fucking Roderick Strong.
Yeah. Yep. I agree.
So it's like so now you kind of getting all the tea leaves there. So so Roderick Strong, that's a person that honestly, like anybody watching or anybody here, no one gave a fuck about, to be fair. And you have this star that just beat your biggest star, and something should have materialized from that. But you wanted to go the route of so that there's a miss. So there's a miss there. But again, there's gonna be these misses when you have so many fucking moving parts happening on your weekly shows and what you gotta plan out. Who's gonna become your champion? How are you gonna deal with Adam Copeland? All of these guys, someone unfortunately is victim to this. And it clearly he's one of those victims. And it's like wrestling, you ain't gonna get everybody right. You're not getting everybody right. Like, that ain't happening. It's not a perfect world. You're gonna fuck up on some people.
But I'm just saying, like, if you just look at everything that's going on just this year, wouldn't have made more sense for Takeshita to be the one to have beat Orange for his second run, and then you could have done the international championship matchup for Ospreay and Takeshita at Revolution, and we would have had Will Ospreay already being a champion from jump in AEW, since it seems like we're gonna get that in a few weeks anyway.
Well, yeah.
So now, do you think that they should have like a team of like separate championship bookers, essentially? So like, I mean, available for what championships, and then just book them and book whoever's not available, say for the world championship, take the best from there and insert them into a different title picture. Because it's like, if you got one guy essentially doing it all, he's gonna miss people. You're gonna miss people.
Yeah, I think that like there has to be like someone who is focused on, okay, we're gonna start building back up the international championship, and I think that's what they're doing at Double or Nothing by having Will Ospreay probably gonna win that title. They're gonna build it back up. They have built back up the TNT title. Remember when the TNT title was dead in the water in 2022? Yeah. But Christian Cage and the Father of the Year gimmick, and now Adam Copeland with this really good feud with House of Black, it's back where it was. So we need that. We need that type of thing.
Doing this? Is there separate people doing this, or is it still being booked by one individual?
And I think that Christian was a part. He had his fingerprints all over his booking for the TNT title, and Copeland has his fingerprints on his.
You gotta have multiple people in this shit, because there's gonna be people that the other stars are gonna point out and be like, "Yo, that guy needs to be in my program. He needs to be a part of this, because I see a lot in him, and he's not involved in the world title picture. He's not involved in the TNT picture, or he's not involved in the tag picture, or he's not involved in the continental picture." Like, there's so many pictures, and then you got this nucleus of people that's involved in it. Take the top people that's not in those programs and put them in the other ones to keep everyone relevant. But there will be expenses still when you do that.
And I'm not going to front. I kind of agree with what Big Man Dogs is putting down here. He says there's a lot of young guys in AEW getting half-ass pushes instead of singling out a few guys that get pushed for real, like Takeshita, Starks, Jay White. Like it's starting to feel like 2010's WWE with the amount of talent that is being underutilized.
They're messing it up.
Yeah, Starks is a big miss. Like, Starks is a big miss. Like, he should be somewhere important. Like, he should be. The FTW championship is his biggest accomplishment. Like, are you
tag team title?
Tag team title.
Like, so yeah, there's gonna be those. He's another one. Like, there's people that's out there and then when you make these big splash signings, people get lost in the sauce. See, the sauce is a big topic today, huh?
A lot of sauce in the mix. We're gonna continue with some AEW Collision, and we're gonna talk more about Ricky Starks and his lack of a push and lack of being on AEW television, because he talked about it this week. We're going to talk about that. But JJ, I know you said you had a heart out, so do you have to let everybody know?
I got an extra free. I got a little bit. I got a little bit more time. Let's go. We got some.
All right, yeah, we got to. I know you want to hear about this Ricky Stark stuff because you brought him up. AEW Collision last week, you had the double shot with AEW Collision and Rampage. So they've been doing the 3-hour blocks, which I have been enjoying for the most part, I will say. But yeah, the show featured Adam Copeland retaining the TNT championship in what I thought was a great main event against Kyle O'Reilly in O'Reilly's home state of Vancouver. These two guys had a really damn good matchup, ending with Copeland getting the win. You also had the Blackpool Combat Club's Bryan Danielson and Claudio Castagnoli defeating Top Flight in a very fun opener. Post-match, Danielson explained why he joined Team AEW to face the Elite and Anarchy in the arena, which led to Claudio walking out during the promo. Later in the night, Claudio explained that he doesn't agree with Bryan teaming with Kingston in the same match he got injured in before. Dax Hardwood beat Dynamite Kid Tommy Billington in a technical wrestling clinic. You also had Brian Cage and Gates of Agony won a quick squash match. Post-match, AEW World Champion Swerve Strickland attacked his former Mogul Embassy stablemates with a steel chain and chair, choking out Khan with the chain and smashing Toa Leona with a concerto on the steel steps. And then on Rampage, the show featured Trent Beretta beating Downton Castle, Deonna Purrazzo defeating Lady Frost, and Pac defeating Johnny TV in the main event. Unfortunately, there was some injury news this week, and we never like to hear this because our fallen goddess has fallen. Our ROH Women's World Champion was reportedly hurt during Thursday's ROH TV taping. PW Insider reports that Athena hurt her left leg during a matchup with Viva Van during the ROH TV portion of Thursday night's AEW Collision taping. According to the report, there was a spot in the match where Athena charged at Van, who ducked and pulled the middle rope down. Athena went through the ropes and landed on the floor. She was limping when she came up, and it appears that Athena communicated she was hurt, and they went straight to the finish. Athena is said to have stayed in character after the matchup, but did not put any weight on her left leg as she left the ring and was helped to the back. She is said to have been checked out after the matchup, but there's no confirmation on the severity of the injury and if she will be out of action or not. But that would be the most tragic worry to end this historic run if she has to drop it by injury.
It sucks, man. Like it just sucks that this is a part of the game, man. Like, you know, you see it first with Rhea. Yep. You see it first with Rhea, and now you see it with Athena. Like it's trash. It's trash that it's just done.
Sad.
Like it sucks. It really sucks.
He's had such a good run. It's just super disappointing to
like 3 champions in a month. Like
in a month, yeah,
crazy.
Someone put the
all from a woman's, like, there's a lot of women getting injured right now. Like, what's going on? Like, damn. Sucks. But
crazy.
Like I said before, we have to talk about Ricky Starks because he was trending on social media this week. Josh, you saw it. I saw it. Bunch of us saw it. Ricky Starks has not been on AEW TV since March when he had an injury scare on an episode of AEW Collision. However, he has stated multiple times that he is not hurt. In an interview with Woke Culture, Starks again reiterated that he is not injured and added he doesn't know why he is not appearing on AEW TV lately. He said, I don't know. I would hope so, but I really don't know. There are things every time I always predict something to go some way, it doesn't go that way. It kind of just leaves me being like, well, we'll just figure out and see. I really have no clue. It's just a very interesting time. I feel like I wished I was on Dynamite, or I wish I was on Dynasty. I wish I was on these things, but I think at a certain point, just for my sanity, I go too crazy about it because the proof is in my work and my effort that I've constantly given 1000% effort. So at a certain point, it's not in my control. I think that's the biggest lesson I have. Things are just not in my control, but things that are, I tried the hardest. I'm not hurt. Even that night on AEW Collision, I specifically stated, hey, I'm not hurt. I was just being cautious about it because at the moment I didn't know what was happening, especially with the side of my body. So I wasn't hurt. I was never put on an injury list or anything like that. I have no answers. People ask me all the time, why aren't you? I don't know. I have no clue. That isn't up to me. It does suck, obviously, to not be on TV, but the support in people online and people sending me message is very, very sweet and endearing and very encouraging from that standpoint. Ricky Starks is leaving.
His foot is already out the door. What do you mean?
I mean, it's almost like they're ushering him out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and you know, I don't know if the grass is going to be greener on the other side. So that's the thing.
That's the next thing.
There's no guarantee that where he thinks he deserves more, he's gonna get more.
Mm-hmm.
Also true. Also true.
So
yeah. I.e. Andrade El Idolo.
Yo. See what happens? You get back to the same thing you was doing before. Same thing.
You talking about Mr. Generic baby face now?
Yep. You know what? Not generic baby face, yo.
Yeah, Josh, what did you think? What did you think about all the discourse about Ricky Starks this week following his comments about not knowing why he's not on AEW TV?
I mean, it's not surprising because we've kind of seen this trend with Ricky Starks where we feel like he should be getting more, and then something always happens. It's either injury or creative is always something. Because even with the whole MJF stuff, you know, Ricky got completely over it when it came to that, but then it was just terrible timing because we all knew he wasn't going to win. He wasn't going to beat MJF when it came to that. That was just horrific timing, in my opinion. I think if that would have been done a different time, then you would have done the switch. That wasn't going to happen. But it's always some, you know, there's always something, you know, with Ricky Starks. It's just, you know, like what Top Guy said earlier, not everybody's going to get the top spot. And if somebody was going to get the top spot, it should have been Ricky by now, in my opinion. So even if he leaves, like he goes to WWE, yeah, you know, he's probably going to make a lot of money and do other stuff, but he's not going to be what he wants to be, you know, like, and that's what I'm starting to see a lot of these guys, you know, like Santana, you know, like when Santana wants to be elevated, right? The best way he could do it is in Impact. Ricky Starks goes to WWE, he's just not going to get that. He's going to have to do something so out of his box, so like out there, that's going to elevate him. And I just don't see that happening when you have Cody. When Roman comes back, he's going to have that. He's going to have a top spot. You know, you have Seth, you have CM Punk, you have Drew now, who's on the roll. Is he going to be that guy when he comes in to take any of their spots? No, he's not. That's just the reality of the situation when it comes to WWE. So even if he goes to WWE, he's probably going to be in the same situation. So it's like
stuck in the mud.
Yeah, you know, and I don't know. Maybe this was his way of saying things, and then maybe they'll try to work things out. But I think he's probably out when it comes to this. I mean, he already has Cody on his side. I know he made comments about Punk, which I don't think they're really going to hold against him because Brody King has been very supportive of Punk, and he doesn't hide it, and you know he's still on TV. So I don't think that's that big of a deal, at least as far as I know, when it comes to AEW and their relationship with CM Punk. But I don't know, man. It's a weird situation with Starks because it's like he leaves again. If he leaves, he's not going to be what he wants to be in WWE, regardless.
Yeah. I agree with you. I agree with you there. His best chance to elevate to the main event is in AEW, but it just seems like it's not going to happen.
It's always a roadblock. There's always a roadblock. And maybe there's something that we don't know. Maybe there's something more. And obviously he's not going to speak about it. Maybe there's something that we don't know, you know. Oh, you know, obviously that's something that's maybe personal, or you know, like again, we, you know, whatever's going on, that's for them to resolve if there's something going on, you know. So it's like we're just in a wait and see game. What's going to end up happening with him?
Yeah. All right, JJ. Any final thoughts on Ricky Starks before we let you go?
It's just crazy that we just had this long talk about people being stuck.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of caps off with someone being stuck. Like, because I don't think that he's like over enough to be like this big impact player in the WWE. If he goes to a place like Impact Wrestling, he's probably in his mind, because it's like he's in a place where he thinks he's a bigger star than he actually is. And he goes to Impact, he might be thinking that's a step backwards. And it's like, there's something you're not doing. And I think that's that time when you got to take a long, hard look in the mirror and see what are you not doing for them to utilize you on their program. There's something you're not bringing to the table, whether it's an element of character, whether it's an element of your work, whether it's your attitude backstage, whether it's something you are doing is holding you back. And I think that is kind of now where you got to start taking a long look in the mirror and seeing what's best for you. Because honestly, everywhere in every avenue he thinks he belongs in, he probably ain't going to get there.
He's definitely not going to get it there, unfortunately. He got a little bit more leverage where he's at right now. Once you leave this place, it's definitely going to be different. It's going to be something that you are not going to be. I mean, your friend is there. Your friend can kind of help you, but it's not much help that your friend can get for you.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's
better to deal with the devil you know than the devil you don't.
Correct. And like you said, SP said, look at Andrade. Greener pastures on the other side because your lady there, but your lady ain't even there because she injured.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to this, when it comes to this, I necessarily don't really agree with this because if you're an independent, I mean, it's going to be a lot harder for you to find work. If you have a set deal, I mean, you're making a lot of money. That's a whole lot of, regardless, that's a whole lot of money that you're still making with a big deal. In regards to AEW, the reason why I also disagree is because when you're with AEW, you could still do independent wrestling. You could still do outside bookings. When you're in WWE, you can't do that because they won't allow you to do that. So,
But in WWE, you sign a long-term deal and you're still considered an independent contractor.
Yeah.
With AEW, there are certain people who are under long-term deals that also are not just wrestlers. They have employee royals, which give them more benefits. So I think that is better if you have a long-term deal with one company over the other. But I don't necessarily think being an independent contractor is better than having a long-term deal to one of these places.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah. And it's also very unstable. It's not the most stable situation as you may think. Yeah, you'll control your own schedule, but money-wise, you'll still be making a lot more money in a long-term contract, regardless.
Yeah, and Nate, you're probably right, but I agree with what JJ was saying that if I'm Ricky Starks, TNA is a step back now. If this was TNA from January, then maybe it's like oh man, they're exciting again. They just got rebranded, but they fired Scott D'Amore, and ever since then, it's been like this. It's been like all the buzz for TNA has gone away in the past couple of months since then.
Slow decline.
Especially in the situation
I watch it every week. I watch it every week for this show. I like TNA, but I cannot deny the energy is just not there anymore.
Yeah, and in regards to that, in regards to what Starks wants, somewhere like Impact would be a step back because again, he's been backstage in WWE programming, right? He's been in the crowd stat. So him going to TNA, would benefit him character-wise, and he'll get a push. But it's realistically a downgrade when it comes to where Stark wants to be.
Yeah, because
JJ,
if he wants to end up, because he's a guy that wants to end up in the WWE. It's a lot easier to be an ex-WWE person to go to those companies and then come back, but to be a first-time performer for the WWE, thinking that you're a major star, it is going to be a lot harder to be recognized coming from TNA than it would be from AEW.
That's a fact.
So he's never performed at a spotlight stage in the WWE. He was a jobber. He was a beat up boy, like in like training and shit over there. But he
got beat up by Ryback.
He was never known in the WWE. He was never known there. So if he's got to make a name in AEW if he wants to go to where he eventually wants to be. You can't make that in TNA and then have never been in the WWE.
And they sent his ass right to NXT too. They're not sending him to the main roster. He's going right to NXT.
Oh, he's going to NXT. Oh, absolutely.
He's going to NXT. He was starting NXT for sure.
100%.
JJ, let everybody know where they can follow you and when we will see you again, sir.
Well, I am working on that June schedule, so I will have my date for June very soon. I do have a trip planned out. I do think that June is probably going to be more towards the end of June, I think. But there's a date in June. I just haven't finalized it yet because I got a lot of moving parts happening right now. But Instagram, you see it's Tru Heel _ Top Guy JJ. That is pretty much my main social. I really don't I'm not very active on there, honestly. I just go on there to see what the fuck is going on, to talk to friends here and there. But yeah, with the guys, I don't know if we are doing any live streams of any of the playoff games coming up on the Sports and Entertainment channel. I'd probably join for that if it's like the conference finals or the finals or something like that.
Game 7 tomorrow, friend.
Game 7 is tomorrow. Absolutely, I'm locked in with both TVs. With TVs,
I can't believe we got 2 Game 7s.
2 Game 7s. So I don't think I'm gonna be able
7.
to join a live stream because my TV is gonna be too loud for that shit. I am gonna be hoping and praying that my OKC Thunder pulls out a fucking Game 6 victory tonight to force a Game 7 on Monday, which you have 3 Game 7s in 2 days, hopefully.
Man,
but
that would be dope. That would be dope.
Right? 3 Game 7 never happened in a long time.
It's the best thing in sports to do that, but we got to get the job done tonight. We got to slay this dragon called Luka Doncic, because it's like when he's on one, he's on one. When he sucks, he sucks. So we got to get the bad version of Luka tonight, hopefully. Unfortunately, it's in Dallas.
Yeah, that's the catch. Good luck to your Oklahoma City Thunder tonight. I look forward if we do get that Game 7, and I look forward to when we see you in June, sir. So until then,
all right,
we bid you
I'll
adieu.
I'll pop in for a few minutes before then, but for the longer show, yes, love you. Feel better, girl.
Thank you.
And I will catch you guys on the next one, and see you guys later. Peace out, y'all.
Love you, brother. All right, let's finish this rodeo real quick. ROH TV, the show, rodeo. The show featured Athena defeating Nicole Matthews in a ROH Women's World Title Eliminator matchup. But post-match, Athena attacked Nicole further until Queen Aminata came out to make the save, laying out her future champion that she's going to challenge for. Undisputed Kingdom beat Jason Geiger and London Lightning in an ROH World Tag Team Title Proving Ground matchup, while Kyle Fletcher defeated Mentalalo in a ROH TV Championship Proving Ground matchup. Moving over to Japan, but to California first, for Resurgence last Saturday, the show featured Jon Moxley defeating Shota Umino in a tremendous main event matchup to retain the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. But post-match, House of Torture's Evil and Ren Narita came down to jump both men, with Evil challenging Moxley for the title and spray painting the belt black. Kill me right now. Gabe Kidd defeated Eddie Kingston in a wild, insane, no-rope last man standing match to win the NJPW Strong Openweight Championship. Post-match, Kingston, who got injured on the finish, was attacked by Jack Perry and the returning Young Bucks in the ring. This marked the first time since the inception of AEW that Matthew and Nicholas Jackson had stepped foot in a New Japan ring. Shingo Takagi beat Yuya Uemura in a damn good bout to retain the Never Openweight Championship. Jeff Cobb defeated Lance Archer in a fun hoss fight to retain the NJPW World TV title. Post-match, Tomohiro Ishii came out to challenge Cobb. Zack Sabre Jr. beat Hiroshi Tanahashi in a splendid technical wrestling clinic. Stephanie Vicaire defeated Alex Windsor in a hard-hitting battle to retain the NJPW Strong Women's title. Gorillas of Destiny beat TMDK to win the NJPW Strong Openweight Tag Team Championships. And then we head over to Japan because we got the Best of Super Juniors, which is in week 1. Day 2 on Monday featured the match of the tournament so far for me, as El Desperado defeated Konosuke Fujita in an excellent battle. You also had Doki pulled off an upset, picking up a win over Hiromu Takahashi in a great main event. Day 3 featured El Desperado beating Bushi in the main event. Clark Connors beat TJP, and Kevin Knight defeated Fujita. Day 4 featured Taiji Shimori defeating Robbie Eagles in the main event. Hiromu Takahashi beat Dragon Daya in a surprisingly solid matchup, while Kushida defeated Francisco Akira in a fun match. And then Day 5 was this morning, which featured Hiromu Takahashi beating Sho in the main event. Kevin Knight defeated El Desperado in the biggest upset of the tournament so far. my pick to win the entire tournament. TJP is now 0-4 in the fucking tournament after losing to Bushi.
That's
0-4.
That's terrible.
Kosei Fujita beat Clark Connors in another upset, while Robbie Eagles defeated Kushida in a brilliant technical wrestling clinic. And then finally, TNA Impact, the show featured Eric Young, Joe Hendry, Ryan Nemeth, Steph DeLander, Spitfire, and Broken Matt Hardy, defeating Moose, Eddie Edwards, Brian Myers, Alicia Edwards, Masha Slamovich, Jordan Grace, Laredo Kid, and Mustafa Ali in an 8-on-8 Champions versus All-Stars challenge. So that was where the big focus of that show was. Josh, you saw Resurgence, right?
I saw some of it.
What did you think? Overall thoughts on Resurgence from what you saw?
I mean, it was a pretty good show. I feel like New Japan the last couple of weeks it's been better to watch. Some of the results are it's not as bad as it was a while ago, but I'm still enjoying it, trying to make the best of it at this point when it comes to New Japan. But yeah, that's how I feel about it. And then
and I agree with Frantic World here, because it was announced during day 5 of the Best of Super Juniors that the Best of Super Juniors finals will be the main event of Dominion. Yes, even New Japan knows no one wants to see Evil in the main event of Dominion.
Yeah, and that tells you something, especially in going into Dominion.
So they already have the main event already happening. I mean, already set, basically.
Basically, this is the first time in 10 years that the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship will not main event Dominion.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, so it's a significant deal.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people might not look at it that way, but it kind of tells you the state of New Japan right now.
Damn.
They're in a state of kind of flux and rebuilding right now, for sure. But you know how we finish every edition of the Flagship podcast. It's time for Krssi Luv's favorite time of the show, match of the week. There was a lot of wrestling from this week, but I'm going to keep it simple because I got to get out of here and enjoy the rest of my birthday. So I'm keeping it to 5 this week.
Yeah.
Keep it to 5. Keep it to 5 this week. Keep it simple, stupid. Number 5 for me this week, I'll go with Gunther versus Kofi Kingston from Raw. I thought it was a nice, like, real intense King of the Ring quarterfinal matchup. Number 4 for me this week, I will go for it Adam Copeland versus Kyle O'Reilly from Collision. I thought their match was a great one in the main event with the Canadian crowd behind them. Number 3 for me this week, I gotta go with Gabe Kidd versus Eddie Kingston, the no rope last man standing matchup. Even though that finish scared the shit out of me and I still have nightmares about it, it was an insane matchup, so I enjoyed the hell out of it. And number 2 for me this week, I'm gonna go with El Desperado versus Kosei Fujita from the Best of Super Juniors tournament. That was like Fujita's breakout performance. Dude's only 21 years old. Everybody's calling him the future of the junior heavyweight division right now. And number 1 for me this week, Jon Moxley, Shota Umino, the main event from Resurgence. Excellent matchup there. Krssi Luv.
Okay, so number 5, I'm going to go with the Heritage Cup I can't remember their names, but that
Tony
was good.
D and Charlie Dempsey.
Yes, from NXT. Number 4 is going to be Kofi Gunther. 3, I'm going to give it to Strickland and Cage. Yes. What am I at? 2 now? 2 would be Adam Copeland and he went
Kyle
against
O'Reilly.
Yes. And then number 1 is Mox and Amino.
Shooter.
Yeah.
Yes. Josh, who you got?
Number 3, I got Swerve versus Cage. I thought that match was better than I expected, to be honest with you.
It really was.
It was pretty fun.
Just missed the cut for me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, Kingston versus Gabe Kidd. That was a great match, regardless of the spot. It was a great match. And then number 1, Shota and versus Moxley. That was a great match. Man, they got
exactly what it needed to be.
Yo, they got so when that moment happens, man, it's gonna mean something. But they got something there, man. They got something there. They really need to build on this.
Facts. He made me believe he was gonna win. Like a match that I knew the outcome, he made me believe he was gonna win at one point. I gotta give him credit for that. But that brings us to a close on this Wrestle Birthday Bash edition. We packed in a lot talking about this week in wrestling. We gave y'all an interview about an upcoming book. We get birthday wishes. We talked about AEW fumbling on talent. I want to thank Krssi Luv, Josh, and Top Guy JJ for joining me today. Krssi Luv, your first stop. Let everybody know where they can follow you.
Hey guys, so you can follow me. Watch us on our channel. We did the recap. You can watch the whole season now of Dark Side of the Ring with myself and SP. Other than that, you can join us every Saturday, 11:05 a.m. for Tru Heel Heat. We probably will figure out what we're going to do for next week. Other than that, you can find me on Fridays for Know Your Role on the bodyslam.net with Stephanie Hypes. Serving Faces Hills is back tomorrow. Right, SP?
Yes, indeed.
Okay. Yes, we are back tomorrow. And then other than that, you can find me on Krssi Luv IG, which is Krssi Luv _1, and Tru Heel Krssi Luv, which is on Twitter. And then it's just my plain old name. Thank you.
Josh, you're up.
You can follow me, JMPunk321, Twitter and Instagram, every Wednesdays for Elite Heat. Closer to episode 100. And next month, June 8th and 9th, I'll be at Brooklyn Comic-Con. I have another artist appearance for that. I'm working on some incredible pieces. I'm not saying that just because, I really think this might be my best lineup. I'm working on The Rock. I'm working on a new Cody Rhodes with the title. And I'm doing a 9-character piece of X-Men 97, which I finished the outline last night, and it was a fucking headache to work on because I'm like, I had to get the right pieces. I had to put everybody in order, the best placement. So that's what I'll be working on the next couple of weeks. So look forward to that. And, hopefully it ends up being a great show. So I look forward to all that craziness that I'm going to be working on.
And you can follow me on the Twitter machine at Tru Heel SP3. Follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at Tru Heel Heat. Patreon.com/Tru Heel Heat, $3 a month. Yeah, that is the best place to support us when we are not on here on the Tru Heel Heat Sports and Entertainment channel. You, like Krssi Luv said, we got Serving Face and Heels tomorrow, 11:05 a.m. Eastern Time. Tomorrow afternoon over on Tru Heel Heat Sports and Entertainment, we got our final X-Men 97 Season 1 review, talking about Tolerance is Extinction Part 3, and we're going to talk about is Apocalypse coming in Season 2. For Miss Krssi Luv, for the True Jaw Josh, for Top Guy JJ, for Zach Haydorn, and for all of you, thank you so much for all the birthday wishes, all the love. You can follow me on social media if you want to wish me some more birthday love. I appreciate it. But this has been Tru Heel Heat 277 All Elite Fumbles. We are signing off until next time.
Later.